debater.
Listen, yeah, who's the
But
new
he's
guy?
old local.
New guy. Listen, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the new guy.
He's a heavyweight in this division.
Oh my god!
You ain't got what it
I
takes.
thought moderator. He was supposed to be muted and
You
banned for
ain't
the
got
whole
it.
day.
You ain't got what it takes.
Moderator,
You
he was supposed to be banned for the whole fucking day.
You ain't got the minerals.
Goddamn
You ain't got
scum!
the
Yo,
minerals.
one at a time, both of you.
Let me relax a little.
You ain't got the minerals.
Jem
Ooh,
did
let
say
the
that-
fucking trash in.
Jem did say he wanted him banned for the day.
What
So,
do you mean?
Please fix this.
What do you mean? Stop being a little grass, you little informer. You little fucking little grass.
Said
don't-
you with the trash.
They try and silence the truth. That's what it is. They don't like people who speak the truth.
Romy, you're not helping me. I think that's,
Okay, enough color commentary.
slide
Let's
you
get to the meat.
Moderator, he was supposed
stealth
to be
like a ninja.
banned and muted the whole day.
Yo, let's get to an actual
outrageous
point.
talk.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, how do you pronounce your name? Roku, Bass?
Yeah, just call me Roku. I have no idea why it's here.
Roku's basilisk.
No, wait. Please request that Chemo pronounce your name as it's spelled.
Roku.
What's the second word, Chemo? Sound it out.
I got this screen really far from me and the letters are really close, like basilisk.
It's flat! It's flat!
Yes, basilisk is an animal that was purported to be able to turn you to stone by looking at you, kind of like a cockatrice Medusa sort of thing.
It's flat.
If my mythology is correct, it's a mythological creature.
Yeah, it's a big ass snake.
Okay, so Rolik, the name of the game, okay, is to try and corner your opponent. I'm going to try and make you look like you don't know what you're talking about. You're going to try and make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm the flat earther. You understand it's a globe. I understand that to be true. That's how you understand it.
This game's not hard to win.
We're going to be honest. I'm going to be honest at least. We're going to be open. I'm going to try and catch you out. I'm going to try and show that you don't understand. Well, I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. I'm saying I'm going to try and show you that you don't know what science is. I'm going to try and show you that you don't know what reality is. And I'm going to try and show that you don't work on the really is level. Okay? Is there anything you'd like to say before we begin,
The government lied to you.
Bromy, come on. Let's... Well, Bromy, do you want to say anything before we begin, actually? Go for it.
Yeah, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, that you've all been lied to. You're indoctrinated, right? Education is not education, it's indoctrination. That's what education, because it's education, indoctrination. You get it? Rhyming. So obviously it makes sense if it rhymes.
Yeah.
So that's all I've got to say to you, indoctrinated people.
Yeah. So I take it you do think the Earth is spherical, Roku?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes doesn't sound so sharp. Is that a sharp yes, or almost, or maybe, kind of, could be?
That's a YEP. That's a yep.
That's a sharp yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. So obviously there's a radius. Take it, it's 3959.
And what measurement?
Oh, okay. So that's not a sharp. It's not a sharp radius. So what's the radius of the?
And what units of measurement would you like?
Units with it.
Wait, you'll need some time to Google it. Wait for him to
Google it.
Google it.
Do whatever you need to do.
No, you need to
do.
Google.
You can get help. You've even got a rocket scientist here. He's going to help you out as well.
Rocket scientist can't help himself.
I'm still waiting for you to answer the simplest. Hold on, you asked me to prove that you're an idiot. I've asked 4 times for the value and what measurement. You can't give a measurement without units, so I have won the argument.
You've got Google up yet?
The measurement of flat.
If you keep asking for the measurement, but don't state what kind of what unit you want, then you're asking a question that can't be answered. I can say 10,000 pigeons. It is 10,000 pigeons in circumference. I need a unit so I can give you the value. That's
what I said to you. What is the radius of the Earth? I just threw out a number. That could mean anything.
And what value would you like to answer?
That's the point. That's just a number. That could mean anything. I'm asking you for your radius of your Earth. You give me the units, you give me the number. How about that?
At what longitudinal would you like the circumference?
Well,
we have the circumference. is not equal because we're not a perfect spheroid. We're a spheroid.
At the equator in
I think he means what latitude.
Okay, nautical miles or miles?
Doesn't matter. Just pick any unit. Why are you fussing about the unit?
Because he told me that the whole point of this argument is to show that he's an idiot and I'm a smart man.
He's obfuscated.
You try so hard to be intelligent, and you're not.
Everything I've claimed so far is.
I said, what's the radius of the Earth?
Okay.
So you can go with any number you like. What have you measured the radius? What do you know that the Earth, the size is? What do you know about it?
Oh, how have I measured the Earth? I have not measured the Earth.
Do you know what the radius is? Holy shit!
Yeah, guys, you wanna play? We can play.
Yeah, okay.
Radius.
You said at what longitude?
The radius. Does the Earth have a radius?
The radius wouldn't change depending on longitude. It'd be latitude. So you messed up there.
So again, you're messing up. That's a bad start.
3958.8 miles.
Okay, excellent. So now, obviously, every horizon point should be no further than what? If you're 1 foot off the ground, where should your physical horizon be? Physical horizon. If you're 1 foot off the ground with that radius, where is your horizon? Where's the physical horizon?
Black Swan.
Yeah, I know that's what they're going for. The horizon's not really a thing. It's just for your perspective. Alrighty.
You didn't know where he was going with that. Stop acting, man.
Yo. Let's let it be a 1v1 with Chemo
it's
and him.
It's not a 1v1.
I do apologize. Sorry.
He's got the rocket scientist with him.
I don't want a 1v1. I'm still doing stuff on my computer.
Not a 1v1, yeah, but just exposing the globe.
I'm the black hole scientist.
I want to have a game of cat and mouse. I'm disappointed now.
Yeah, I know that was a good game so far. He was like, "What radius? What's the size?" And he was like, "What's the units?" And we were like, "Well, it's your units. You give it to us, right?" And then you gave
why don't you prove to me? Hold on. Let's flip the game. Why don't you prove to me the Earth is flat?
I haven't claimed to you the Earth is flat.
You don't think it's flat?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you believe the Earth is flat. You have a lot of tags.
Does it claim?
Yeah, I do believe that's my belief. Yeah, I believe that to be true. Yeah, I don't know it. I haven't measured the entire Earth, but from what I see, water.
Okay, then you and I cannot reach a conclusion because I have not measured the entire Earth. So I can't prove the Earth is a sphere because I haven't measured it. Just as you can't prove anything, I can't prove anything.
Fantastic.
The case is rested.
So that's perfect. So we're both on the fence then, right? We don't know what.
No. I know the Earth is a spheroid. I know for a fact.
I believe I can fly.
Okay, so you know it's a sphere. How do you know this?
I can observe orbits.
Can't observe nothing.
I can use the data.
Go on, sorry.
I mean, do you need your little princess in the back cheering you on? Or...
I mean, it is nice. I mean, we do need. I mean, flat Earth. What you understand there, Roku, is that the flat earthers were a very, very small group. Like, we're just a very, very small handful of people, bunch of people, right? So yeah, any support that we can get from one another, because remember, you guys are with billions of people who believe in this nonsense, right? So of course, anyone who wants to support this idea, we welcome that, right? Don't you think that's fair?
Okay.
If you guys have got billions on your side, and you've got Brummy here saying, yeah, he's sounding like he's telling you the truth here.
Right, but it doesn't sound like we're having.
What are you worried about? What are you concerned about?
Having an intellectual conversation, a respectful conversation.
I mean, you can see like David and Goliath, right? We're like David with the catapult. You guys have got all the bombs, the guns, the weapons, all the destruction. But you're not making a dent. You're not making any dent, are you? You're not showing us that you want to glow. You're giving us a belief, like I have a belief in Jesus, right?
Incorrect.
Okay, so I'll ask you again. How do you know the Earth is curving or spherical object?
Orbits.
Orbits. What is... Okay, let's have a look at these orbits.
Okay, which orbit would you like to talk about?
Any orbit that you've seen, I'd like to see also. I'd like to see what you've seen to believe what you believe.
Right. Satellites. Satellites orbit the globe.
Excellent.
We have satellites.
Excellent. That's a good start. So can I see what you've seen to believe what you believe?
Oh, see, that's the problem, Chemo. Chemo, let's talk. All right, let's reverse this for a second.
Sure.
Do you have a brain? Yes or no?
He's got nothing, Chemo.
I think the doctors, when they've x-rayed or done some kind of scan, or when I was born, they did a check to verify that all the parts were working. The doctors, I trust the doctors, I trust the medical team. Yeah, I have a brain. Yeah,
not a veterinarian.
Okay,
but go on.
Have you ever seen your brain, or do you know your brain exists because you can
I'm
walk?
looking at the on that right now.
Did you not just hear what I just said? So when I was born, the doctors checked every part to make sure I was a healthy baby boy. That means if there was no brain,
doctors do not X-ray.
If there was no brain in my head, the doctors would know, and they would inform mother, baby Chemo has no brain. You see? So the doctors have told us, and they've said, yes, he's a healthy baby boy, and everything is just fine. So that's how I know I have a brain.
What do you know about science, really, though? Really, though? What do you know about science?
Here's the funny thing. What you just said. You trust the doctor,
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, but you don't trust the physicist.
Absolutely, I trust the physicist. Why not?
Okay, the physicist. I can get one in here real quick. Rocket scientist. You're a physicist.
Yeah.
He's a pretender.
Ouch.
He's a pretender clown.
That hurt.
He's a pretender clown.
I'm an engineer.
Rocket scientist. Okay. Are you? All right, whatever. Okay.
Don't know nothing about science. Man, he sits there looking at satellite data. Apparently.
Is the Earth a spheroid?
He's told he's an engineer, not
you don't know nothing, man. He just builds he draws a couple of drawings and thinks he's a rocket scientist.
Oh my god, you whiny little bitch.
He's a little
you are literally...
Welcome to Brummy Land.
Draws a couple of squares and circles.
You're supposed to be muted!
Brummy, relax. Now listen, Chemo wants to see the orbit that you've seen. Show it to us. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, look, I want to see what you've seen.
I'm breaking down the fallacy. I'm not going to argue with
Show
8
us
people.
an orbit, guys.
Jeremy, you can't see an orbit. It's not a... We're going to the first conversation we had here.
Well,
you're creating a false dichotomy.
You don't stop saying dichotomy. You don't know what that even means. We've
Jeremy, your small, smooth brain can't understand it.
Love that.
So, would you agree that trusting doctors isn't the only way to know if we have a brain?
Correct. I would agree with that.
We trust authorities, but they need to meet the criteria for being a justified authority on the topic.
Shut the
Physicists are not flat earthologists. They just work with particles and conceptions of the world at quantum, macro scales, or whatever in some cases. Depending on the physicist, they don't study the shape of the Earth necessarily. So that appeal to authority is not justified. You need to show that they studied the shape of the Earth in depth and properly for them to even begin to be a justified authority. And on top of that, you need to show that they're being consistent. The moment that they're inconsistent, they lose trust in authority.
All right,
Roku, you can't show Roku, you can't show us an orbit. What can you show us?
Yes, I can.
I can show you the...
What else can you do, rocket scientist? What can you do, man, apart from draw a few pictures of a rocket and think you're some smart guy, man? See, big man equations, isn't it? Big man equations.
So, can I just ask, Roku, you're saying you know...
I haven't been able to fucking talk, so, yeah, if you want to ask, give me time to respond.
Can I just clarify, you were saying that you know it's a globe because of rocket science?
No, I did not say that.
Okay, so can I ask you again, how do you know the Earth is of spherical nature? We won't get to the spinning part just yet, but how do you know the Earth is a globe?
Orbits.
Okay, so what? So how can we know something through what you've just said? How can I now know? How can I now know the Earth is a globe through what you've just said?
Perfect, because I'm going to expand on that point. We can observe what is happening with orbits, and that leads us to reverse engineer to the fact that there's a gravitational pull with centrifugal force creating an orbit.
Yeah. Okay, so how can we know something now from what you've just said? Yeah?
The same way we can know that we have a brain because we can talk and walk. We can work it back.
No, because
if there was no... let me finish. Sure. If there was no... let me finish. If there was no orbit... If there was no orbit, right, there would be no flying metal boxes in the sky, as it wouldn't work. But they do work, which means that there is an orbit.
So by implication, you're saying that on the flat Earth there would be no orbits. You're implying what? That there'd be straight lines?
Oh my God, the guy with 9 C's. Shut up.
So what are you implying? We need to work this out fully intellectually. Over a flat plane, are you saying there would be no orbits?
I don't want. If you guys don't have to you always bring up this argument. I don't need to defend something that doesn't exist.
But Roku, let's just say, for example, I didn't believe there was a brain inside your head, right? Or a brain. Right. What could we do right now in this moment to at least give more validation? Obviously, we can't prove things 100% of your paradigm, but let's say we need more information, more validation that brains are really inside people's heads. What could we do right now in this second?
We can use tool. Oh, in this second, we can observe what I'm doing, which shows I have a brain. Or we can use something called tools, right?
Yeah.
So I can use a CAT scan, MRI, PET scan. You know, I can't use an X-ray really, but you know, you can use several different tools.
But if I was really adamant and said no, there's no such thing as a brain, what would you do right now?
I'm going to take you to a museum, show you what a brain looks like, right? I can scan
online. What would you do online? Is there anything you could do? Again, it's not going to be 100%, but we're just looking for more verification, just a little bit more validation, right? So just
nothing that you would accept. I mean, at this point, nothing that you're going to accept.
No, but I've never seen. No, but hold on, I've never even seen one. I don't know what it looks like. I've never seen one at all. You have, so you know what it looks like at least, a brain.
Yeah.
So what could you do to show me at least what it looks like?
I can send you a picture of what a human brain looks like.
Yeah. And then let's say if I wanted to see it,
you'd look like a cue ball.
Let's say if you wanted to see an operation. I said, oh, there's no such thing as an operation. No one's ever had an operation on the brain. What could you do right now? Just to give me a bit more validation.
I can send you a video.
Excellent. See? So, right now, we're looking for a little bit more verification on what you're saying. Obviously, it won't be 100%.
All right. Well, I'll send you a video of ISS flying around the globe.
The ISS, yeah?
Yeah, that's if you're going to accept that video.
No, I didn't say we accept it. We were just looking for more than just your word. Right. So you're saying you got a video, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So we can talk about that video. Put it up.
All right. How many different videos do you want?
The best one.
Of what?
What you think is real orbits.
Good. Okay, 1 second. Be right back.
Oh, you gotta go.
Go answer. Yeah, I told you I wasn't ready for a 1-on-1. Yeah, I have a life, but I'll come back and I'll own you. Don't worry.
Oh.
Your argument is no different than anyone else. It's filled with fallacies that you yet to realize.
Well, I haven't dismissed or denied anything you've said, right?
Right, and I'm saying what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video, and then you're going to say, "Oh, but how do we know this is true?" And then it's going to go back and forth, back and forth.
That's what I'm going to say. You have no idea what I'm going to say.
All right, then I'm excited for a new conversation. I'll be right back.
You ain't never seen a beast like Chemo, Roku.
Well, I think we have another global misunderstanding of perspective and how stuff like stuff orbiting overhead would dip down to the horizon and appear to go behind an obstruction of perspective. So you can have orbits over flat land, but eventually it will go so far away, it'll just merge into the horizon.
True that, Lemon. I feel you.
Yeah, but do that at about 70,000 miles.
So then why do all the flat earthers say that the rockets that go off
just arrive at the horizon at 70,000 miles?
Why do flat earthers say that all the rockets that go off to the horizon are actually going back down to the ocean?
They appear to go up and curve to avoid hitting the firmament dome.
Talk that shit, Lemon.
Also, the math the math formula that Moyak was talking about is for an object centered at eye line. The rate changes if the object is not at eye line anymore, like it would for a taller sun or whatever. So those rates change.
Do you have an ether inside the dome?
Well, Lemon knows.
The ether? What about the ether?
It's not inside the dome, though, is it? The ether can't be inside the dome. It's obviously outside the dome in the water.
The ether makes up space itself. There's no space without ether, it appears. Anywhere where you have space, you have ether.
True. I think that that definitely you can't go up to space and just get some space time, can you? So there's something there. They're just saying it's nothing, but then they claim that the mass bends and warps it. So it's a contradiction.
They just need a better philosophy to say what's up there. Like August Picardi went up there and supposedly got a jar of the blue air that was up there. That could be the ether or something.
Look at this way. How could a physical thing bend and warp something that's non-physical? It's just a contradiction. Einstein don't know shit.
It may be lying in part and saying that space has no properties. The jig is up when you're saying it's bending. At that point, it does have to have some sort of physical property of some sort.
Absolutely.
Like a fluid or a gas.
Absolutely.
Could you repeat that a couple more times, Brummy? I mean, is there anything you say one time instead of like 100? Fucking moron.
Well, let's face it. A physical thing bending a non-physical thing is your world, and that's your model. That's what you believe, because you know what?
Absolutely.
You believe everything you fucking hear. You're an absolute sheep. You're a sheep. You don't think for yourself. You just follow consensus.
A sheep.
Well, this is where we talk and give each other the tools of discernment to help think for ourselves beyond the consensus. Space has to have properties, Brummy. It has to be something like an ether. It just has to be.
You know, Lemon, they all say you're crazy. You're a bit, listen, Lemon, you're a bit fucking ether mad. You're a bit ether crazy and stuff. But you know what? It's better than the fucking shit they're talking. It's much better than the shit they're talking. So you know what? That's crazy as I'm trying to make you out to be, right? They're fucking crazier because they think that mass, that a physical thing is bending a non-physical thing, a fucking conceptual idea. Think about it for yourselves, people. Think about it.
It makes sense. And the thing is, when you have a nice intuitive philosophy in place, if it's good enough, even the laymen like, Brummy, me, and others can get along with it. But the space-time curvature thing, it's a little esoteric. Isn't ether bending a little better?
Brummy, have you seen that movie, They Live?
Obviously, it's better. Obviously, it makes more sense. It makes more sense. What?
Have you seen the movie They Live?
I haven't seen it. No, what?
A must watch. You've got to watch it.
Carpenter's best movies.
I can't believe
to answer Lemon's question, Lemon, yeah, I think it's more. It sounds more reasonable that it's bending the ether than it's bending this fucking conceptual idea of space time and 4 dimensions, where it's not
Does it
physical.
have to be reasonable for you to be true?
What the fuck do you know about Einstein? What the fuck do you know?
More than you, Brummy. More than you.
Oh, it's some old geezer with some grey hair that needs some hair dye, yeah? Draws a couple of fucking letters on a whiteboard, and apparently fucking
Listen, you
all you
buck-toothed
cunts believe into
fucker.
it.
Do you understand how a computer chip works? You know we take a rock.
Yeah, a computer chipped your girl the last
On
night.
your back.
She was sucking my dick all night. That's what a computer chipped to do.
Come on. Vile.
Wow, this guy is a fucking retard.
No,
He represents
it's
your
not that.
argument.
Again, look, 'cause what happens is when you realise the Earth is flat, and you've been, that you've been lied to,
You become a
and lied to
retard.
no more.
What do you realize? I love whoever said that. Yes, you become a fucking retard.
No, I mean it's like because you're surrounded by people who think the Earth is curving, right? Spinning, flying through space. I think you would act the same accordingly, right?
Reasonable
Completely
people.
insane? No, I would not act completely insane.
Roku, just to bring you up to speed, Brummy had a recent traumatic incident that has scarred his life. His condom failed, so that's why he's upset now, and he's going to be a father. So
Yeah,
that's
I am your father. I am your father, bitch. You're my son. You hear me, Rocket? You're my little bitch. I'm gonna beat you every day.
Let's not bring people's family into shit, man. That's not called for.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Sit down, man. Who the fuck asked you to say?
Being a father, congratulations.
Okay, so can we get back to this?
Father, it's not a problem for Brummy, it's a problem for his poor kid.
Can we get back to this orbited there, Roku? Right? You'll say there the ISS. Did you provide anything for me? So have a look.
I'm eating a sandwich, but I can talk. I can provide all the evidence in a moment.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Why didn't you get some sandwiches for the rest of us? I mean, I'm hungry.
Oh, no. I'm just for everyone.
Oh.
But, I know you've experienced a lot of flat earthers who will just deny things. Say, oh no, that's presupposed, that's nonsense. Whereas I'll look at what you've got, and then we'll talk about it. We'll go through it. We'll analyze it, and we'll see if it is what they say it is. Right? No, I won't deny it.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Are you willing to believe the Earth is a sphere?
No, I'm not willing to believe. I want to know.
And there's no point to have this conversation.
Oh, there's every point. If you've got evidence to support the claim that the Earth is curving, spinning, flying through space, then why on earth would I deny evidence? Don't be silly.
Well, testimony. Hold on a second. This is interesting. Is testimony enough? Is providing, documented evidence enough for you to know something to be true, Chemo?
Yeah, we're going to go through his evidence right now. We're going to have a
look. No. I'm just asking the question.
We'll get to all of that.
Is written and documented evidence enough, or do you need more?
Don't worry about it. We're going to get through. We're going to analyze. We're going to see.
Why? Because he's got to waste his time otherwise.
I did premise this, Roku. Work on the really is level. Yes, and you were like, yeah, sure, yeah, I can do this, yeah. So don't forget how I began this, right? We work on the really is level.
Standard of evidence, Roku, because otherwise you'll waste your time, mate.
Questions. You can't just present something and say, look, there it is. That's the end of the subject. We're going to talk about it. I like to talk, I like to discuss things, analyze it, and see if it is what they actually say it is, right? You're not afraid of your truth, right? Of course you're not. So
Roku, he has denied every piece of evidence yet. So
I don't deny anything. Nothing is denied.
I know it's going to be a waste of time, but my goal is not to change his mind, because he already said he won't change it. I want to help the innocent who are in here on the fence understand the real
reality. Do you mean on the fence? What the fuck? You can't help yourself. You're not anyone else. The fuck do you mean? You're going to help? You need help nobody, bro. You need help yourself, bro.
Lay off the helium, dude. Your voice is sounding well squeaky.
This geezer here can't control his own fucking conversations.
You're right.
Man just waffles on about absolute bollocks. Can't follow what people are saying. And even when you was getting trolled earlier, you couldn't even tell you was being trolled. You're intelligent, bro. You're a parrot. Relax.
You go any higher?
God, Brummy.
All right, let's get it calm.
The guy that was on Police Academy. You know the guy that
All right. I'll calm down a bit. I'll calm down. Yeah. Listen, bitch. Yeah.
I've calmed down. Listen, bitch.
That's my calm voice.
Brummy, if Jem mutes you, that's it. I'm not going to be able to unmute you, so just stop.
Jem, don't hold back the truth. You know I'm the truth. I'm the voice of the truth. Do you know what I mean? If you only empower me, you raise the voice.
Hey, do it, man. Do it.
I love the fact that Dawn's name now is Apotheosis, and he's right above.
It's only going to take so much, and Brummy, you're really pushing, the thin ice or the buttons or whatever it is, Come on, I want to keep you involved. Especially you've got a lot of information.
I love it though. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing. When you're edging, you're just on the edge. You know what I mean? It's just like it's more fun, isn't it? That element of danger, like you're pushing it. You know what I mean? Like you're just like I'm saying no, and you're like yes.
75% of Brummy's speech is laughter and repeating the same thing over and over again.
All right, Roku. Because remember, I've got to believe. You said you know. They're two different things, right? You know something, and believe something is faith. Whereas we know something, it's repeatable, you can demonstrate it, it's obvious, it's clear. My faith is not obvious, it's not clear, I can't demonstrate it, I can't repeat it. Do you follow me?
I think you're conflating knowledge for truth, Chemo.
Yeah, so just so we're on the same page here, yeah? I have the faith, you have the knowledge, right? Supposed to have, at least, right?
Mm-hmm. Faith is a subset of belief, knowledge is a subset of belief as well, and truth.
Yeah, but me and Roku have an understanding here that when we talk about knowing something in science, he can repeat it, he can demonstrate it, he can test it, and obviously
I still think you should examine your standards of evidence.
And obviously, faith, how you would understand religious aspects, is I can't demonstrate to you God, I can't repeat it.
Yeah.
Paulis
can't talk about God. He don't know nothing about anything. He's a little creationist. No, not a creationist. A little fucking evolutionist.
Bro, you really want me to fuck you in the ass? I mean, why the fuck are you talking about me so much?
Bro, if I fucked you in the ass, you'd never walk again. I put you in a permanent wheelchair. Do you hear me?
You only come in here and talk about me. You are so mentally obsessed with me.
No one cares. Listen, you're a fraud. I talk about your fraudness. You're not real, bro. You ain't a real intelligent person. You're a little parrot, bro.
May the truth be with you both.
You don't use your noodle. You don't use your noodle. You use Google. Do you get me? I'm using my noodle, bro. You can't test me when it comes to intelligence, bro. You ain't got what it takes. You ain't got the minerals, bro. You ain't been where I've been, seen what I've seen. You don't know what I mean.
Brummy, did you make your computer or did you buy it?
What, you made a computer makes you think you're intelligent? Makes you a nerd, bro.
No,
makes you a nerd with no social life. That's what it makes you.
Makes you a
degenerate, bro.
Anything. You never taught yourself anything.
Bro, you ain't got the balls, bro. You can't walk a day in my shoes, bro. I can walk you in your shoes every day of the week, bro. You ain't ready for me, son. Sit down, bro.
Walk a day in the shoes.
You get me? You can't handle the shit I handle, bro. You can't walk the road I walk, bro. Sit down, bro.
I think most people would have a problem doing someone else's job as well as they do on day one. Bit silly.
It's organic, so it has to be organic, Dawn. But yeah, look, Roku, can we get back to your evidence? Have you eaten? Are you ready?
One sec.
Get into the analyst.
No, I don't have my hands yet, but one sec. Yeah. I just want to say, Brahma, you're right. It would be very hard to be as retarded as you every single day. Okay.
Well, that's what we're going to show. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if you do have the intellect. Actually, that's what we're trying to find out. If you are smarter than the flat earther, right? Because the flat earthers are not supposed to be very smart, because obviously we think completely different to how you do, right? We see the world differently to how you do.
Hold on.
Don't eat with your mouth full, please. You're eating. Just pause yourself. Pause yourself.
All right. I told you I was eating, but you didn't want to accept that.
Please don't.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. No eating.
It's horrible to listen
it's no singing, it's no eating, just a few little things that we advise. But yeah, take your time. The flat Earth is here to stay. Time to get used to it. I think that's what this is all about. I think a lot of it is just getting people used to the idea that the Earth's on a globe. So, all the content you see. It was just over 24/7, and they were talking about this 9-year-old girl said to her teacher that the Earth is flat, not a globe or something like this. I think they told the parents. I have to get the full. We can go back and listen. Anyway, basically, everyone's happy about the Earth being flat, and they're looking into it. So the kids are definitely asking questions. They're hearing. I think the mother said she was listening to a Nathan Oakley show in the car. The kids were listening in the background.
Poor little girl.
Kids were in the background, and they were saying to mother something like, "Did they just say the Earth is flat? What are they talking about, mother?" And kind of said, "Well, they're just discussing, we're just listening." Just kind of brushed it off. But she had it in the car. So again, awareness is being raised to all generations, future generations. Next.
Okay, Chemo.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Bit of a monologue. So what we're looking for is your orbits of the. Oh, you got muted. I didn't even notice.
So before we move forward, give me your definition of what is acceptable data. I don't want to waste my time.
Whatever you've got. Let's look at it. Let's just take a look at it. All we can do is look at it, right? I'm not going to deny it. I'm going to ask you questions.
That's how he's avoiding providing any standard to use that as a trick later to reject.
I really don't want to listen, Chemo. Just listen.
Look,
I don't want to
you
waste
won't be wasting your
45
time
minutes.
if you've got the proof, the evidence, and you can demonstrate, right? If you can't, then yes, you will be wasting your time. If you give me your ideas and your religious belief, yes, you will be wasting your time. But if you've got the facts, the figures, the numbers, and the demonstrations, and of course you can't fail, right?
He doesn't know what your criteria for those are, then how can you provide it?
Eyewitness testimony is not valid. Numbers are not valid. Telescope observations are not valid. The transit observations, GPS observations, all this is not valid.
Radar, satellites, GPS. Yeah. So unless you've actually got a standard, how do you know what to provide them? And the fact that Chemo is being vague, I think, is very telling of what he's doing. Is he's trying to just create a gotcha so he can record all this shit and put it on his channel, avoiding the fact that he called COVID-19 fake a few months ago.
The thing is, to prove something to anybody, you need to have another element of their life that works consistently that you can point to say, you see your life work similarly over here, like with this orbit over here. In this case, we would need to have a ball that has stuff orbiting around it in our everyday life that we can point to and say, there's an orbit over there. Here's what's happening with the Earth. We do not have that. Since everyday life does not concord with this theory, it's going to be rejected anyway, no matter what evidence you provide. It doesn't concord with our everyday life.
Lemon, I don't have any experience in my life that shows me how radio frequencies work, how nuclear reactions work. So this is not true. This is not how you learn things, by having an everyday analog.
But that's not true. You have your voice.
That's how I learn.
And your voice will hit somebody else across space and time.
Okay,
let's gonna respond.
Stop waffling.
Let's get back on track. So, Roku,
but he's wrong. We do have an analog.
1 second.
1 second.
How high off the ground are you? How high above sea level are you?
Fucking high as a kite, bitch.
The moderator mute him. He was supposed to not swear. But Lemon, so how high above sea level are you?
Guess what? 200 feet, something like that. I don't know.
All right.
Lemon,
do your senses tell you how high above sea level you are?
They tell me.
Yeah.
Not well. Your ears may pop if you go initially,
yes,
but after a while, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so you.
The consensus tell you how high you are. The consensus tell you how high you are. Yeah. Consensus.
We're gonna have any reasonable conversation in here today?
Well,
yeah.
All you were supposed to do was present something to
Hold on.
Because you refused to present it, we've now gone into something else. We can't talk about your evidence.
That's not how we got into this. I want to know your standard of evidence, so that way I can have an I got you. Like, here, this meets your qualification of evidence, therefore you have to accept it. If you give me a vague model, you can always say, well, I don't accept that. I don't accept that. I don't accept it. You have to tell me exactly where your limit is, and I will provide you something within that limitation.
Fair enough.
If you're saying I have to go touch and get you a cup of space-time, that's not going to happen.
Not going to fly yet. But, I mean, I did say to you, I have the faith, you have the knowledge, right? So when I outlined that, I said that my faith cannot be tested, you can't repeat it, I can't observe it, right? So I said that you have the knowledge, the know-how, because what you have obviously is repeatable, observable, testable, and it's demonstrable. You can demonstrate it, right? And you said, yeah. So if you agree to that, then you should be able to show me something within those parameters. What do you think?
All right, quick point of order. Can one of the mods tell me what rule did I break to get muted? Because I just want to make sure I don't break it again.
You were ugly.
Well, that's not fun.
You have a hot mic.
No, I had my mic on mute when I got muted.
I'm saying, God, you currently have a hot mic.
I don't have a hot mic, really. I'm trying to talk, but I'll mute for now.
I didn't know you were trying to talk.
I'm just wondering why I got server muted, because I'd like to make sure I don't break that rule again.
So,
because you know the truth.
Do you agree with that criteria there, what we've just said, like the religious idea? Faith that can't be demonstrated.
Yeah, religion's faith, yes.
Yeah, so obviously you said you know something. So I said that you obviously know it because it's repeatable, observable, demonstratable, and we can provide these things time and time again, right? Yeah. So obviously, what's the problem now then? What's the issue?
Okay, so I've gone down this road 4 or 5 times already in like 1v1 arena kind of thing. And we always run into the same conclusion. My evidence is not accepted by you. So before I waste my time for the 19th time, what evidence would help you believe, or what evidence would actually prove to you the Earth is round?
Okay, so let's try this again. So,
No. What evidence do you need to fully grasp that the Earth is round?
Okay, so I want to know what you know. I have a belief which we can't test, we can't demonstrate, we can't observe. You said you have knowledge, you know.
You're evading the question.
You interrupted me. You said you know something, okay? So I said to you, we know you obviously know something because you can test it, observe it, experiment with it. It's repeatable. All those things. You said yes. So from now, just provide something in that if you agree to it.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Why are you asking?
Why don't you start with the best evidence you have? That'd be a good place to start.
You said orbits.
No, Jeremy, you don't understand. You don't understand, Jeremy. What's happened here is...
Hold on a second, Moya, because let him respond now. Moya, you've interrupted him. Let him respond, because he did say what is required, and I've just given an answer. I'd like to hear what he's got to say. So, you said orbits.
I'm going to make it fair. If other people can interrupt you from your side, my people can interrupt me on my side.
Yeah, that can happen, but we're not going to get to
I'm yielding it to him right now, because I actually want to hear what he said. You said that your fucking cheerleader in the back is allowed to scream and fuck as much as he wants, so my supporters
that
are
was
allowed
because
to talk
we are a very small group, remember. You've got millions and billions, but fair enough.
I don't care about the size. I care about the respect. So
fair
go
enough.
ahead, God.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, okay, that's fine. I won't beat on that dead horse. We have had a problem with chemo in the past, whereas we show him demonstrations and he simply says that they are not good. So you can show him all the evidence you want. Like, he has a belief that air pressure doesn't exist. So we've demonstrated with barometers, anaerobic, God damn it, I can't remember it. The anaeroid barometers, and all these things. We've given him the information, and he summarily just says no. So, I mean, I don't know how you're going to get through his shield. And I think that he really should be beholden to you, and I believe your question is valid. Show us a form of evidence. I just can tell you that unequivocal evidence has been given to him, and he really equivocates.
Well, I guess we need a north-south-north circumnavigation along a continuous line of longitude without deviating or turning back. That would be possible on a ball, but not possible on a flat Earth. We would need 8 inches per mile squared of curvature, as predicted by the WGS84 model, with 24,901 mile
you'd love to have 8 inches, Lemon.
8 inches per mile squared curvature would be nice, or something approaching that. What else would there need to be? Yeah, that would be a start.
Okay, so Roku. Let's get back to the discussion. You said orbits, right?
Right. And I'm asking you, I'm not going to waste the next 45 minutes saying, here's all the evidence of an orbit, here's how I can prove it, here's how I can demonstrate it, here's how I can test it for myself in my backyard. You just to say, go get me space-time. I want you to define what acceptable data will transform you from a flat Earth believer to a globe Earth knower. If you tell me this, right, it is an unmovable fact that we will compare all data to that will come from this conversation. So go ahead, define what data you would need, and then any data presented in this argument will be tested against your definition. If it's deemed that the data does meet your definition requirements, then you have to move from a flat Earth believer to a globe Earth knower. I am not going to debate someone who is then going to say, I believe. So if you want to have a true debate, and I'm talking about, we can go for hours, man. You first have to come at me with your definition, and I will allow everybody individually to compare the data to your definition.
Okay, so again,
just so you know, it's immovable, not unmovable.
You said that you know something, right? Okay. And I said that I have the belief. So remember, you said that you know you're on a spherical object. Do you still stand by that information?
100%.
Okay,
yep.
So, as I just said before, if I have a faith, I can't test it, I can't observe it, I can't repeat it.
Are you going to repeat yourself? I said, give me the definition of the data that you give me. Show. All right.
I know,
give me a definition.
What I don't like to derail and detract from the original
You're just going
point.
to keep repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
Give me a definition or a rubric of data that you would accept to prove the Earth is globe, and I will provide data and information that meets the criteria of your definition and or rubric.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, so we went through the criteria. I outlined that faith, my religion, cannot be tested,
oh my God,
cannot be repeated, cannot be observed. You said you know something, and we agreed that by repeating something, observing something, testing it, and experimenting is how you know something. Yes? So, If you say orbits, can you provide for me an orbit so we can have a look at your evidence for the Earth being a spherical object because you know it? Can you show us?
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to build my argument.
Yeah.
It's this strategy is called the ladder, I believe. So you know that there are organs in you because you function normally, right? Or better yet, like you're not actively dying because you're not on the ground dying, right? Now, can I ask you, do you have cancer in your body?
Probably.
Okay, you said that you know the Earth is a globe.
Hold on. My God, dude. It's a form of argument that requires you to say yes, because then it builds the structure where you say yes
but you
earlier.
did say you know. Cancer? You did say you know the Earth is a globe, right? And I'm saying to you,
let's go away from cancer in case he feels uncomfortable.
I'm asking, how do you know that the Earth is a globe? Why aren't you telling us how you know this to be true?
Because we have thousands of satellites circulating the Earth.
Okay,
so
great. So can I see? Excellent. So I'm not denying this. Can I see one of those thousands of satellites orbiting the Earth?
Yeah, go ahead. When it's nighttime, I will provide you a website. You use the website to find any orbit that's near your home. Right? Go outside. Use your phone to find the exact second. It's going to go there, and bam, there's a satellite.
Okay. You said that you know
one possible metric, but the thing is that shifts it from the Earth being curved.
Listen, you little shithead. No one cares.
To satellites.
Waffle on for hours and hours about your religion.
Can function on a flat plane. So that standard of evidence is a little weak.
What the fuck you're talking about?
Okay, Roki, let's stay on point. Focus a little bit, right? Don't get distracted too much, right?
How satellites can only work on a globe.
We're talking about what you know. So you said you know the Earth is a globe because you've seen satellites go around the globe. So can I see what you have seen so I can know what you know? That's impossible. So, okay.
You can't see what I've seen because they're in my eyes, right?
Did you record what you saw?
Why would I?
I don't know. We're looking for verification. Why would you? I don't know. Why would you? Why do you think you would?
Is it something I can observe any night?
So if I say I saw Jesus, does it mean anything to you?
That's different.
That's different. How is that? Why, Drus, you're interrupting him. Drus, you're interrupting.
Emo.
So why is that different? What's different? You said that you saw a satellite go around the ball. You said you saw it with your eyes. And I'm saying I saw Jesus in a dream one time. You're saying that's different. Why?
Right, because
you can repeat it.
Yeah, did you take a picture of your breakfast this
Why
morning?
would I?
Exactly. Why would you?
Why would I? Just believe it, right? Just believe what I said. We saw Jesus.
No.
Just believe
hold
it.
on.
Go on. I'm holding on.
All right. I'm saying you probably ate breakfast today, right?
Breakfast?
Yeah.
Breakfast proves the globe. That's how you know it's a globe. Because of your breakfast.
No.
You made of a satellite.
No, but I'm asking you about how do you know it's a globe? You said because of satellites. So I said, let me see what you've seen. And you said you can't.
Already.
So listen, hold on a second. We are still now in the faith side of things. Because remember, we agreed that faith isn't really, we can't test it. It's not repeatable. We can't observe it. So what you've got is what I've got. I'm asking you for the observable, repeatable, testable, demonstrable. So
I told you, and then you asked me for my picture. Why would I take a picture? I didn't take a picture of my shit today. I took a shit. I didn't take a picture of it. Why would I?
Okay, that's
fine.
Take
a shit tomorrow.
That's fine, but I didn't ask you for that, did I? I asked you about what you know. You made a wild claim about Drus, you're interrupting me again. I'm trying to get this conversation out with
but it's open. He said that people could chip in, and I was trying to chip in on one specific point.
Yeah, just hold on a second. Let me make my point then, Drus. Let me make my point. Let me make my point then, Drus. Let me make my point. Drus, let me make my point. Yeah, let me make my point then, and then you can obviously ask
No. I would like him.
Yeah, let me make my point because I'm responding to you.
Well, you're monologuing all the time, Chemo.
No, because you keep interrupting me.
You said the same thing 5 times.
Yeah.
Right.
You're terrible at this. You don't know how to debate.
No, because I did say to you, I'm trying to back you into a corner, right?
It
appears I am backing you into a corner, right? Because you did say that you know something, right? You said you know it's a globe, and I asked you why do you know this? How do you know this? And then you said, well, things orbit the globe. You've seen this. So I said, can I see what you've seen? And you said, well, no, it's not repeatable. So that immediately puts it back into the... takes it out of the round.
He just can't show you what he saw in his eye.
Dress, this is a warning. Stop interrupting me, please. Let me make my
point. A warning? What the fuck? You keep talking over him. Keep saying you're monologuing, right? Which is commonly objected in here. So you just keep rambling on and waffling on, right? You've provided no new information.
What I'm doing, I'm letting you make your point.
Minutes. You won't answer any questions. I keep asking you direct questions so I can build an argument.
To be fair, he's trying to answer you, but the guy interrupted and, like, you know, made a conversation.
Yeah, he's trying to derail the conversation. He's going to take it somewhere else.
Take some concessions so he can make his final point. Let's just let him continue.
But like I said, what you've done, it's already stepped into the realms of faith. Because we already agreed, we had an agreement.
Correct.
That we already had a... We had an agreement.
Correct. Objection. Your logical fallacy already.
We had an agreement that if we can't test it, not observable, it's not repeatable, it falls into the faith side of the argument. And if we can repeat it, demonstrate. Yeah, so you said that you saw a satellite go around the globe. So I said, okay, fine, great. I accept what you're saying based on faith. Still in the faith. Now, to verify it a little bit further, can I see what you've seen? You said no.
Yes.
You said you can't see what I've seen.
You can't see what I've seen through my eyes. Can you experience my same experience?
Should I elaborate? Would you like me to elaborate?
Yeah, if you would actually allow me, right?
Yeah, so I don't mean through your actual eyes. I just mean...
You asked me a fucking question, so shut the fuck up and listen to me, all right? You're not good at this.
I'm not trying to be good. I'm only asking simple questions.
Let me know when I can make my point.
Please, go and make your point, and then I'll make mine.
It's very simple. You met his criteria, and this is why I wanted to interject, because he said you can go to a website and you can repeat my observation. You can look locally where you are for satellites passing above you. That makes his test repeatable, Chemo. It meets your criteria. Carry on.
So, remember, you said...
No, shut the fuck up. I still haven't said anything, okay? Okay. You're not showing me the respect that I was showing you.
Go ahead. Forgive me.
Thank you. Right? Here's the problem. You want to get all technical and try to back me into a corner, it's not going to work. Obviously, you can see what I see through my eyes. I can give you an example. I took a shit today. You took a shit today. We can keep telling each other we took a shit today until, I don't know, I'm sitting in your toilet and we shit together. However, if there's cameras, right, and if there's data, then I can assert that you have taken a shit. Okay? Same with the space. I'm telling you that here's a real case of you doing something observable and repeatable every single day. And your little quirk is to try to tell me that because I didn't take a picture of it, that it's not true. It's a logical fallacy. It's like saying oxygen is not true. When was the last time you took a picture of oxygen?
Okay, so can we get
the
back
problem is you have a bit of a fallacy because you can see the street lamps at the edge of the street appear to dip down to the horizon and disappear over a relatively flat road surface. Now, by logical extension, if you take those street lamps and put them in a circular shape similar to the circular path of these satellites, it would dip below the horizon in a similar way over a flat surface and come back up over the surface, eventually circling around. So the logic that you have is a little faulty in that you are implying that these orbits can only function with a globe sphere when they could theoretically work very well with perspective over a flat plane.
No, I disagree. I have faith.
And real quick, the oxygen thing is a false analogy because oxygen can't be seen, whereas this stuff can.
Well, at the moment, I have faith that he's telling me the truth. Why would he lie? Right? All we need now is just a little bit more verification and validation. So I'm asking him to verify what he's seen. Something go around the board, and he's not providing it. We can't move forward because he's saying, oh, well, I can't show you what I've seen. So we're still in the realms of faith here, Roku.
Well, the thing is, everything being... Sorry.
He said you could do it, Chemo. What do you have to say to that? This is something that you're not accepting his word, which in science we usually accept other people's words and their evidence. Now, if we don't believe their evidence,
we test it ourselves.
We test it.
I've just said I believe you. I have faith in you right now.
No, go test my experiment and then have faith in yourself.
What experiment? I haven't seen anything.
Okay, here's the. Okay. What is your geoposition on the globe?
What have you seen? What have you shown so far? There's nothing that you've shown to test and repeat and demonstrate.
What is your geoposition on the globe?
Look, Roku, you said know.
Why don't you answer any of my questions?
Because it's not relevant to the argument that we're discussing right now.
It is relevant because I'm going to tell you how to perform my.
How does me tell you what you know about something? How do I validate what you know?
Why don't you listen? He'll tell you.
You should validate it, and then we can have a look and analyze it.
Hold on. Chemo. Let's go back to the beginning of the argument. How did you validate yourself?
No. So you've got a claim.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. How did you validate yourself, right? That the doctor actually saw a brain in you? How did you yourself, Chemo, right? How do you know? There's a brain inside your head?
I didn't ask.
How do you know?
I didn't ask that question. You've asked me 3 times. I didn't ask that question. I didn't ask that question.
How did you know? Don't escape this question.
I didn't ask that question. I don't know. I believe. Okay. I have faith.
Han. Okay, then we can't talk. If you believe and have faith you have a brain, then I can't talk to you.
Well, how would I know?
Because you're beyond comprehension.
How would I know I've got a brain?
If you don't know you have a brain, right? If you don't know you have a brain, then you and I cannot talk. We're not going to reach any conclusion. If you say you believe you have a brain, but don't know you have a brain, it's worthless going farther than this.
How would you know you've got a brain? How did you know? How do you know?
How do I know? I have had scans.
That's how you know. I haven't had a scan, so how would I know?
I also know because I'm talking and walking and using my fucking brain to form conclusions and arguments that destroy your entire world in seconds.
But you've just told me how you know something, yeah?
Yeah.
But if I doubted you and wanted to know more, investigate it, I would press you on this and say, no, show me the files, show me the x-rays of this brain, show me the scan. But okay, fine, that's not a wild claim. You've got a brain, no big deal. But you've just said the Earth is a spherical object. That is a wild outrage. Roku, you're not letting me finish at all. Roku, I don't interrupt you at all. Okay. Right? And by the time you finish, you've got 10 other people jumping in. And I make a simple point, you just interrupt me. Why?
Go ahead.
Because I'm backing you into a corner.
You're not going to back me into a corner.
Okay, so let's talk about what you know, not what I believe. It's about you, remember? You said you know that the Earth is a ball because you have demonstrable, proof, repeatable. So, can you post something in the side chat that we could look at as a starting point?
Okay, here's the problem, all right? Okay. I'm not going to converse with someone who doesn't know they have a brain.
Yeah, I haven't been for a scan. You said you've been for a scan, so you know you've got a brain.
You told me you said earlier you know you have a brain.
Yeah, the doctors told me.
You said that earlier.
The doctors said so.
That's
how you. That's right.
Yeah, right. How did you verify that?
I haven't verified. I didn't ask the question.
Chemo, it's the same fucking question. It's called building a ladder argument. We're forming an idea next to the real idea to show that your way of approaching logical
Yeah, but I didn't make the claim, did I, about the brains, did I? I didn't say I know I've got a brain, did I? You said
you did say you knew you had a brain.
No, the doctors have told me you're a healthy baby boy, so I take their word for it.
And that's how you said. That's how I know baby Chemo has a brain.
Yeah, that's how.
Okay, well, the thing is, it would be one thing if they showed you an adult-sized brain that has no physical capability of fitting inside baby Chemo's head at that stage of development. There's an inconsistency here that we have to point out, namely that these orbits could function on a flat surface just as easily as a globe surface, so that no longer forms compelling proof for the globe narrative alone.
Because he knows this is a globe.
You just ramble. No one understands what you're saying.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying.
The inconsistency. Sure, there can be a brain in your head, but is it this, size? Is it a human brain? If you're showing me like a little string of a brain that could only fit inside of, say, a worm that can't possibly fit inside of a human, I could have a brain inside of my head, but it's not going to be that brain. Is the satellites not just existing, but are they functioning only on a globe, or can they work on a flat plane? This is where the nitty gritty, the rubber meets the road with these sorts of debates. You have to make a stronger case than that.
Okay, so you guys don't understand how debates work?
This is not a debate, Roku. This is about reality. Can you show what you know to be true or not?
Yes. And
okay, so can you show me the orbit of the Earth, of the globe, of the spherical object?
First, like I said, I want to demonstrate that you have a logical misunderstanding of how
Who operates in life in this way? If I ask you to show me a red car, you show me a red car. What's your problem?
You're going to tell me that it's a picture. Or, yeah, exactly. I see a red car. You're going to say, how do you see a red car? Blah, 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 blah. How do you, like, you're telling me that you don't know you have a brain.
But you're saying to me, hold on, let's get this right then. So hold on. No, you've made your points. Let me make a quick point here. So if I show you a picture of Jesus, are you going to have any more questions, or are you going to say, okay, yeah, that's Jesus? Exactly. You think about that, and that's your premise.
I was fucking responding to you. Are you trying to ask me a hypothetical question or a real question?
You've just said if you show me a picture of what you believe to be true, I'll have questions. If I show you a picture of Jesus, will you have questions?
Chemo, you have a hearing deficiency.
So show me your evidence of how you know it's a globe then.
Okay, I will as soon as you admit that you know, right? You have a brain. If you can prove to me you have a brain, then I will use the exact methodology that you are using to prove the Earth is a sphere. First, prove to me that you have a brain.
Biology is a different science to the one that you're using pseudoscience. This is science.
Oh my God, you are such a little wimp.
Well, I've given you the answer. That's how we know we have these. How do we know we have organs?
I cannot believe you're going down this path.
Stop whining.
Such a little.
Stop whining now. Look, we know we have organs because of biology. That's a science that we agree with. Your version. I'm demonstrating that your version of science is a religion. Biology is not a religion. We can test it. We can observe it. We can repeat it. What you're spouting, Roku, is pseudoscience, not science. I'm showing you that it's faith. And then you go to biology, which is science. Why are we arguing about science? We're arguing about your faith, what you believe to be a ball. Are you with me now?
Oh, dude, you just put the nail in your own coffin. Well, so you're telling me that biology is a science, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's observable, repeatable, demonstrable.
Okay,
your ball, your globe is not science.
I didn't get a finish.
Go for it. You're in that corner now. Let's see if you can get out of this one.
Oh no, buddy, you're in the corner. So you're telling me that you believe you have a brain because of what the doctor said, what the textbook said, and what you're able to do, even though you've never seen you had a brain. I
reevaluate that. Now biology is science. We can test it. It's repeatable. We can observe it. Move on. You're talking about physics. You're talking about the globe. You're talking about mathematics, which is not.
You did not answer my question.
Well, go on, let's hear it.
You know you're in a corner.
Well, go on then.
You did not answer my question. Answer my question. It's a yes or no question.
Go on.
It's a yes or no question.
Go on.
Do you know you have a brain because of what the doctor said, what the textbook said, and what you're able to do? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. That's it. For all the audience, Chemo just said he doesn't know he has a brain. He is not sure if he can verify that he has a brain. For that reason, he is unable to continue this debate because
he said.
Hold on. Let him finish. Let him make his point. Percentage. Let him finish his point. I want to respond to him. Go ahead, Roku. Make your point.
All right. Some guy said up there, how can you verify you have a brain?
No, I want to respond. Because you've just said that we can't go forward because of why? Because I'm using science with biology, and you want to stick with pseudoscience.
Oh, because you're going against biology. Biology.
No. A doctor is not a biologist.
Yes, you did.
No, a doctor's not a scientist. A doctor's scientists. You're medical doctors.
Yes, they are.
They're not scientists. They don't do. No, they're not. They don't do experiments.
Are you fucking kidding me? They do.
What science does a doctor do?
They're a doctor of human.
What science does a doctor do? What do they do? Tell me what science they do. What experiments do they do? A doctor.
Okay. Well, let's see. Do you want to talk about surgical experiments, medication experiments? Are you that dense?
Yeah, no, he's right on this one, Chemo.
I could be that dense. Yeah, let's find out if I'm that dense. Remember, are you smarter than a flat earther? So let's talk to me about science.
I'm definitely smarter than you. I can tell you that. All right.
Well, go on then. Stop whining and make your point. Go ahead, Scott. Oh, he's muted again. But yeah, look, you're mixing up pseudoscience with actual science, right? Biology is science, right?
Here, buddy. Here's a doctor. It's one of the funnier, cases. But here's doctors who performed experiments to understand how people worked. There you go. Doctors perform experiments. You want a less crazy version? Okay, no problem.
What was the
Yeah, doctors are scientists. You got like your differential diagnosis. You got trial and error in terms of a surgical operation. Doctors are scientists.
What observed phenomena do they? Yeah, in biology.
Yeah, they manipulate like different things. They'll give a dosage of a drug, for instance, if they're internal or.
Well, I'm thinking more of a hospital doctor, a medical doctor.
Yeah, even so, they'll play around with different dosages, and that's basically you could say that's an independent variable.
They're not chemists, though, are they? They're doctors. They
understand chemistry.
Yeah, they're not chemists. They're not biologists. They're doctors. They look at sick people.
You don't understand what doctors do. Doctors have an understanding.
Well, like I just said, I was speaking of a medical doctor, a doctor that works at a hospital, that looks at patients.
All right, and you don't understand what doctors do. Do you think they just say, "Okay, you're sick, you get drug"? No,
that's racist.
Pretty much, drug pushers. I mean, yeah, they have a theory of the body that doesn't really look at it as a holistic organism. It's just like this thing to synthetically poison with chemicals and shit.
So let's not look at biology.
No, because
chemistry.
It's still science. It just might not be the warranted science that's necessary.
No, this is science. Biology is science. Chemistry is science.
You don't get to leave this corner. You do not get to leave this little corner.
But we're talking about biology. We're talking about biology. You were in the corner of physics.
And you keep stumbling over your feet. You say that doctors aren't scientists because they don't perform experiments. Yet you're saying that that biology is a natural science. Doctors are able to heal the human body, which is natural, right? So I'm telling you that doctors are scientists, right? You're telling me that you know you have a brain because of what biology tells you, right? Using that same logic, right? You're saying that biology tells me I have a brain because biologists and doctors and scientists have cut open people, understand the brain, can show a brain, yada, yada, yada. Same thing can be applied with physics. You cannot just say that. If you say, I don't have a brain, then I believe you. You don't believe that the Earth is a globe. But if you have a brain, right, then you have to believe, then we can move there, and I can show you that the Earth is actually a globe.
No, like I said, we know we have a brain through science. Okay. Through science. That's the only way we can know.
How?
Is through
how do we know a brain?
Through observations.
Okay, what observation?
So we can cut open the head and see inside.
Okay.
And we can demonstrate.
Any other way?
We can demonstrate over and over and over again. That would be science, right?
Right. So I'm asking, how do you? Wait, hold on. So you're saying because we cut up a brain on someone else, right? You're using that data to extrapolate and say that you have a brain because what they were able to do with a brain is the same thing you can do with a brain, right?
Right.
Okay. So you don't know you have a brain through your own eyes or you have a picture of your brain or anything, but you believe you have a brain because you're able to demonstrate things that people with brains do. Also, you're telling me that it's because there's a science and that there are doctors who tell you have a brain, right?
Okay,
cool. All right, perfect.
Right, so can we get back to the science now of physics?
Okay, no problem.
Right, so you said you know the Earth is a spherical object. What is the scientific evidence for that?
So one of the ways experiments work is to prove a known fact, right? Satellites prove the fact that there is gravity by continuously revolving around the Earth without needing any extra input and energy.
Okay, that sounds good. We've been through that stage. You were about to show it.
All right, here I'll show you a list of orbits.
You were supposed to do that a while ago now.
This guy just said science. Hold on, this guy just said science proves things. Chemo, did you catch that?
I did.
Jeremy, stop being fucking pedantic.
So what we got here? You've got a catalogue of satellite orbits. Yeah.
And then you can cross-reference with this, right? Which is the live tracker. And then you can go outside and actually witness this for yourself. And you can realize that the speed that these are going exceed any feasible. It exceeds any material that can withstand that speed in an atmosphere.
Are you talking about the Santa tracker?
Okay, yep. So we've got this picture of you say it's the ISS. Is this the ISS?
No, this is a satellite tracker. Space station's not. Well, I guess it could be a satellite technically. We can talk about. I think POS satellites would probably be the best. POES. So probably like the GOES 15. Which is a polar orbit. I'm not sure if you're anywhere. You'll be able to see if you can through it or not.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying this is going around a spherical object, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the formula? What's the rate of that curve that it's going around?
Okay. Let's see. What is the rate?
Yeah, so we can work it out. Like if we know how big the Earth is,
then
we can test if the Earth curves at that rate, and then we can verify if what this document says, right?
Right.
You wouldn't just look up, would you, to verify what you're standing on, right?
One sec.
I'm with this guy. I think science proves things.
Well, science does prove things.
Science gives you evidence. You have to make the logical case and prove it yourself.
Oh my! You are the most annoying out of all the flat earthers. I love you the most, but you're the most annoying.
Come on, don't worry about Lemon. Show us, get your documents up.
I'm getting it. Don't worry.
GOES is at 22,300 miles above the Earth.
Might be annoying, but it was correct what he said.
Dude, you're affirming the consequence of saying that satellites exist. You think that satellites only work on a ball there.
Oh, okay.
No, Lemon. We can't just deny, this is one of the problems that they have with the flat earth. We just hand wave dismiss. We're going to go through his claim. We're going to look at it with a fine.
And because you're mixing up so many propositions, you're answering a question that I didn't even ask because your brain is mixed up so much. I didn't say satellites didn't exist. I said that they can work over a flat plane. Get it right, dude. And quit mixing up all these propositions. And quit affirming the consequence.
They can't. No, they can't.
They Scott, just arguing for argument's sake. But look,
they can't.
Roku.
Oh, let the guy finish.
Not even in theory. Not in any way.
They can if they're satelloons, baby.
They can. They would not be traveling the speed at which they're set.
All right, can you just show me
speeds that are noted? Hold on, the speeds that are noted are based off of the globe assumption relative to a diameter going to the center of the proposed Earth, making those speeds questionable alone.
That's wrong.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, have you got your data, Roku?
I'm showing you that we can do the math together. You want to do it together with me?
Just tell me how fast it's going. Go on.
All right, let's do it together. Are you ready? Do you understand how to do math?
No, Lemon's our resident mathematician.
Oh, okay then. Well, it doesn't seem like we'll be able to move forward.
Sorry, that was a natural reaction when I heard that.
We're gonna do math longhand, not with calculators. We're gonna do it all longhand, so no fancy magic can be used, right?
Sure.
All right, let's look at your triangle. It's let's see, getting the moon, blah blah blah. Stellar parallax is built off of the assumption of the Earth moving millions of miles through space, making your triangle way too large and your distance is exaggerated. The Earth does not move; it's motionless and at rest.
I don't think they're doing stellar parallax in this. Retard.
I'm looking at Phil Kayo's whatever. What math are you talking
about? Stellar parallax there?
That's talking about triangulating the moon. The rest of the distances assume the Earth is moving around the sun in space.
Seems like it's triangulating
I'm doing orbital speed calculations right now because the guy wants to know how fast we're going. Here's the orbital speed equation if you guys need it. Here's the GOES satellite information for us. I'll also bring up more information about the GOES orbit so we can verify that information for you guys real quick. GOES 15 orbit.
Yeah.
Right? And we'll be able to input all the data ourselves, calculate the speed, and that's going to tell you that I'll show you the fastest speed that we can approach on Earth, and then you will have to believe that Earth is a sphere, right?
No, you have way too many propositions mixed in there. But
well, this guy, one of his biggest assumption is he knows all the technology that everyone has on Earth right now.
And also the trajectories of the satellites are exaggerated since they're calculated from the diameter of the sphere Earth. Another deadly assumption.
Hang on. Lemon, no. You take the position and velocity.
That's how you're getting 17,000 miles an hour.
Are you? No, that's not how you calculate the orbital elements. They're based on the position and velocity of a satellite, and then you calculate the values based off of that.
Based off of an assumption of being above a sphere Earth.
Lemon, position and velocity has nothing to do with the sphere.
In what way?
Because they're Cartesian. There's no assumption of sphericity when you're talking about position and velocity.
So is it going over a flat plane or a globe?
Good question, Lemon. Why don't you tell me how you can determine that from the position and velocity?
You would have to start with the land itself and see if it has curvature.
See, this is where you're mistaken.
No, that's exactly Lemon's right. I was going to ask.
No, he's not. No, absolutely not. This is my area, and I can tell you you're fucking wrong in this case. Okay?
No, because if the Earth is not
talking,
curving,
Chemo.
If it's not curving at the rate that
Chemo,
you say
Phil
it is,
was talking.
How can the satellite curve around?
Chemo, shut the fuck up. Someone
Hold
was
on,
talking.
Chemo. Take a second.
Sorry, Phil. Was I over speaking? Please go ahead.
Oh, rocket scientist was talking.
Oh, sorry, rocket scientist.
Talking.
I thought Phil was speaking. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. It's you, Rocket. You're on.
Well, it's just like you guys are ridiculous. Position and velocity are measured in the Earth inertial frame, so it's got nothing to do with the fact that it's a sphere. The fact that you guys make this, you actually try to inject that into it, is absolutely ridiculous. It just shows how you actually don't understand what you're talking about.
All right. How high off the ground are these satellites supposed to be, rocket scientists? Let's just go with
off the ground.
Off
the ground.
We need to do some math. Rocket scientists. How high off the ground are these? Yes, the altitude of these satellites, please.
What do you, Lemon? Do you want low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, GPS, geostationary?
Go with the lowest. Go with the lowest satellite.
Low Earth orbit.
Yeah. The lowest
How high
in orbit.
is that?
Useful low Earth orbit is maybe around 400 kilometers. You can't do much below lower than that.
Okay. How fast are those satellites
the ISS is a
going?
little lower than that. You can't do.
How fast are those
say
satellites
going? 300 kilometers.
How fast are they? Yes.
About but give or take between 6 or 7 kilometers per second, depending on which range you're talking about.
Kilometers per second. Let's go with
This
the low.
one. All right. So the GOES 15 rocket scientist goes 1.908 miles per second.
I have no idea what
we can verify what he just said. Yeah. So let's do 1.8.
Okay, but GOES is geostationary though.
It's a little hard to check speed on that because it could be glued to the dome.
Yeah, I believe GOES is a geostationary satellite. That's why the speed is way smaller, right? Because it's way out there. I was talking more like 400. Lemon was talking low Earth orbit, right? So I was talking in that area, in that regime. So closer you get to the planet, the faster your orbital speed, right? The further out you are, the slower you are.
It's easy to check the low Earth ones because you can actually see them and monitor them between two locations and find out a rough speed.
Because ISS is about 7 kilometers per second, give or take.
So that means if somebody 14 miles away would see it in like 2 seconds overhead, not accounting for the sphericity of the orbit. No, actually, it'd still be overhead. So
no, it's actually no. Usually, your line of sight from a ground station line of sight, you usually get around 12 minutes at least. Like
right,
horizon.
I'm talking about the from sub satellite point. When it goes like the ISS, when it goes direct overhead, you could have somebody else in line with that, get it direct overhead, and you could do a rough calculation.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah, depending on where the other place is and see if you have access to that. Yeah, but yeah, there might only be a couple of seconds of visibility, up to maybe even a minute of visibility from multiple locations.
So, Akiva, are you willing to do that? Go outside of your little shell there, go sit in there and talk to one of the other flat-hard buddies and have them stand 14, 20 miles away from you, or 100 miles away from you, and see when it passes direct over your head, and then you do a speed calculation?
Okay, let's say we did find out something was moving 17,000 miles an hour or something.
No, you will.
So what?
Okay, so that
it's faster than any recorded speed on Earth.
So you know all the technology everyone has on Earth right now. That's what you're saying?
Oh my God! Are you going to say?
Come on, you're better than this.
Well, what the fuck? You know all.
This is a logical fallacy.
Do you know all the technology that NASA has?
This is a logical fallacy.
The logical fallacy is assuming that speed is satellite technology. That's affirming
You're
the
starting to wander to
fallacy.
crummy territory by making arguments.
No, it's actually called the. You're
this
creating an
guy's
appeal to
escaped
ignorance.
my line of questioning. He hasn't proved that we're on a globe. He doesn't know that we're on a globe. And
the argument is boiled down to we don't know of anything that can travel this fast here on Earth. Therefore, it must be this slingshot globe gravity that is the mechanism that's powering this level of flight. His argument has changed subtly from the curvature of the Earth to wondering what, if anything, can power a satellite's movement at that proposed speed. The argument has changed.
How many corners did he get out of Lemon?
The funny thing is, if you do the observations of the ISS, I always say ISS because you can see that without any visual aid, and I can give you how you do orbit determination, and you need doing this you can predict. Let me finish. You can predict when it's going to appear over your head next, and you can't do that on a flat Earth. It only works on a spherical model. And it's not. You're not presupposing. Hang on. You're not presupposing anything by calculating its trajectory.
Fine.
Well, technically you are because you have to use gravity in there.
Okay, fine. But there was still more.
Scientists, I was going to ask you, how many times does that lower satellite at 400 kilometers above the surface circle over the Earth or whatever? How many times does it circle over the Earth?
Okay. Yes, this period is about 90 something. It makes about 14.7 to 15 orbits per day.
ISS is 96 minutes.
Roku, have you had enough?
What? No.
Okay, good. Okay, fair enough. Let's go with the idea that these satellites are going.
We got you the speed. Now what?
Yeah. So we're gonna move on. What, have you given up? Is that it? We have some more questions. Only verifying, right? So you're saying
whoa, man! You told me that if we could make a repeatable test, right? A scientist, so we have an engineer in here, and we use scientific data, right? So we use data just like the textbook. We have an engineer just like a doctor, and we're showing a test, right? That does not show that gravity doesn't show gravity, but what it does show is the effect of gravity. Just like we don't know you have a brain, right? We know why you have a brain because of the effects. So we are showing you the effects of gravity by an observed situation. You don't need to go further.
No. We're still in the faith rounds because remember.
No. You can't say that we're in the faith when I just took the exact example from earlier, right? With the biology and proceeded to take it to physics.
You just over-taught me constantly. I was just about to explain why we're in the faith realm still, okay? Because I could equal what you've just done with religious information, right? So the point is that you've said that there are satellites and somebody has data and they go around the ball. Okay, fine, fair enough. Let's stick with the faith. But I have more questions now still to verify.
Why do you have more questions? Why do you have more questions about that? If you can perform it yourself and verify it, why do you have more questions?
Nobody can perform this. Again, this is part of the faith.
Everyone can perform this.
Again, that's part of the faith. To believe that. If I say, oh, everyone can speak to God, just do it yourself. Again, that'd be part of the faith. We're looking for a bit more.
No, see, you're just going,
hand wave, dismiss it. Now let's move on because we're still in the faith. I'm looking for more validation.
I don't want to move on yet. I wanted to tell me what else you need.
That's what we're doing right now. We've got the faith that things go around this ball. You can't show me a satellite doing it. That would just end it, wouldn't it?
I can.
Say, for example, you show me a satellite going on a ball. I wouldn't have any more questions. I'd say, oh, look, there's just a ball. There's a satellite going on a ball. End of subject. But because we're still in the faith, I still have more questions.
Okay, hold on. You want a video of a satellite going around the Earth?
Yeah, I want to see a satellite going around the Earth, yeah.
Okay.
That will end the questions, yeah. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Roku, you're wasting your time, honestly, with this dipshit. He does this all the time.
I know.
He's trying to make you dance like a monkey, and he's going to keep doing it.
Well, I'm putting him in the corner. Yeah, I did warn him. I was open. I was transparent. I told him in the beginning, Rocket.
You might be quiet for a second. I gave you all the satellite data, and you like you usually do. You run away from it because you don't know what to do with it.
I did warn him in the beginning, Rocket. I did say this is going to be you in a corner, showing that you
shit to do it.
I did say that Roku will be showing that he doesn't know what he's talking about, and so far, only you, Rocket, know what you're talking about because obviously you think you have the data, but Roku has faith in his priest, you, Rocket, and right now he cannot verify as we outlined.
I can verify everything. Wait, if that's a problem, I can do all the same math he can do right now. I can provide I can provide the apogee. Yes, I can.
I'm sure you can. I'm not doubting it. In the faith realms, right?
No. So then he's not my priest. I can verify everything he says. No.
What would you confirm?
Physics.
Go ahead.
NASA has been moved from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
You can't verify all of rocket scientists' satellite anecdotes.
Don't. Are you here to?
Rocket scientists, you're helping out.
Are you here to try to invalidate my credentials?
Let him say something.
It's all anecdotal, and you can't verify any of it.
That's not the conversation we were having between you and you. He said that he can't verify he has a brain. If you're going to say that, then I don't want to talk with you guys anymore.
No, only through science we can verify.
No, hon.
That's different. We know that we have something in our heads that we call a brain. That's totally different.
That's biology.
How do you know it's in there?
That's science. That's biology.
We're told, and we've seen pictures of heads broken open and chopped open.
Oh my God!
In Indiana Jones, they eat monkey brains, and it's inside a monkey's head.
Following your poor logic, we are told by physicists.
And Frankenstein didn't have one, did he? Or did he?
And we see astronauts going around the fucking Earth. There you go. I don't know why you came in here. You just discredited everybody.
One logic is easier to follow than the other. Chemo can tell that he has some sort of organ inside of him because he can feel the beating of his heart. He can feel the inflation of something akin to lungs, and he can see eyes attached to his head that are probably attached to this brain, just like in those anatomical.
Probably. You also weaken the argument. The brain has no ability to
reason back to it reasonably. You can't reason back to satellites over a globe as the only alternative. That's why what you're saying doesn't work.
Oh my God, yes you can.
Roku, stop freaking out. It's just a discussion about the shape of the Earth that you think is a globe and you can't demonstrate. Because so far we've understood that it's a faith, and you over-talk me when I make a point because you can't handle the fact that you're being backed into a corner, right?
I mean, also, you can feel a spine that's attached to it going down your neck and going down your back. You can feel hard, rigid bones that don't give compared to the soft flesh covering it over your skin and stuff. That means there's something inside of you similar probably to a brain. And a lot of times something hard protects something soft. So if you have this hard, rib cage covering your soft innards and your soft intestines and stuff like that, a hard skull is probably covering over a soft brain within, by that logic alone as well. And also there's a lot of sensory perception centralized in your head, your ears, your mouth, your eyes, things that would need to be centrally processed and interpreted by a soft, squishy brain. So all of this stuff is very naturally understood and naturally goes with the mind, but satellites over a globe Earth, not so much.
I agree.
You're such an
Okay, so look, let's get back to you, Roku. You were saying you know something.
I just gave you the video.
Let's have a look.
All right, so it's been proven. Satellites exist.
Have a look.
Satellites going at a speed. Earth is a globe.
Let's have a look.
I have one.
I've seen this. This tour is quite convincing.
On a tour, but that's okay.
I'll fly through whatever. It's inside, right?
Don't worry. Let's have a look.
They've got it quite good now, Kim. That's
Space
quite
station,
convincing.
fish, sky, fly through 4K.
All you really have to see is that this is above the Earth, right?
Looks really interesting.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so they're flying through like the space station. That's cool. That looks good. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay. So obviously,
another video just in case. Here's another video to verify.
No, this one's good enough.
No, hold on. Here, I want to overload you real quick. Here's another video. Right, here's what the ISS is, right?
Yeah. Don't worry, I've got I want you to stick with the one that you've posted, right? We're looking at it right now. So if you just go like I don't know, it's around about 16 minutes 14. You can go from about there, yeah?
It's like a wobbly drone shot wobbling around inside a studio set.
Go from about 16.
Oh, Chemo, here's the problem. The problem. You don't want to learn.
I'm looking at it right now. We're looking at it together.
Chemo. There's two reasons why I know you don't want to learn. First, you're trying to prove that I'm stupid, when in reality, you are, because I know the truth, and I guess you believe in fiction.
Sure.
Secondly, you told me that you don't know if you have a brain. Then you told me that you know you have a brain. And you keep flopping back and forth whether or not you know or don't know you have a brain.
You're talking nonsense. I want to talk about physics. You're talking about biology. Stick to one topic.
It's the idea. It's called the logical. It's a logical pathway to understanding.
Red herring.
We accept we've got a brain. This is something we accept.
You need to stick to the topic.
Why do you accept you have a brain, but you don't accept the evidence that I have just shown that there is a satellite?
I want to ask you questions about it. Can you go to 16 minutes in your video that you posted, the first one, 16 minutes 40, 16 minutes 30, where they're looking at the Earth? Can you just go to that section?
All right.
Goodness sake, it's so difficult to get you to look at your own information, right? You run away from your own evidence.
16 minutes what? 16 what?
Just when they're looking at the cupola, right? So 1620, 1630.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah? You there? You there, yeah? You can see that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see, what do you see? Do you see what I see?
Yeah, I see some, extensions from the ISS. I see the round, beautiful globe that we all enjoy.
Yeah. So you see all those clouds? See the clouds? See the clouds.
Yep.
And do you see the atmosphere?
You don't really see an atmosphere.
What, there's no atmosphere on the Earth?
Oh, there is.
Yeah, do you see it, yeah?
You can't really see it.
Well, the clouds are part of the atmosphere, yeah?
No.
Well,
maybe. I don't know.
The clouds are not part of the
refresh
atmosphere.
my rocket scientists. Are clouds part of the atmosphere? I don't think so. They just exist in the atmosphere, correct?
Yeah, in the atmosphere. They're in the atmosphere.
Hold on. You asked if clouds are part of the atmosphere, and I'm referring to my
in the atmosphere, part of the atmosphere.
Not atmosphere, but I mean, this sounds a little pedantic, but
explain to me.
If you're modeling, I mean,
he's being silly, rocket scientist. Remember, he's just trying to be technical.
He models the clouds as a part of the atmosphere.
Part of the atmosphere, yeah, of course. So I'm right. So remember, you're in that corner. You're still in that corner. Now look, are you looking at the Earth with the atmosphere, right? Okay. So what's next to what's all that black area? What's all that? The black next to the blue. What's going on there?
It's nothingness.
Nothing. So there's nothing. Yes, good. I like that. So there's nothingness, and
there's
you're going to retract. So what corner are you in now? Let's restate. Let's think about what you're saying. So you've got the atmosphere next to what exactly? Think about it.
You have a gradient of the atmosphere, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking about the gradient. I'm talking about the black. What is that black? Right. What is that area? You said nothingness, which was your initial answer.
A continuation of the atmosphere.
You're retracting on the nothingness now, right?
Is it so? It's against the law to misspeak?
No, of course not. So what is it? What is that dark area? You've said to me you've got the atmosphere, and then you've got
part of the atmosphere.
Yeah, you got the atmosphere. We've got. Then you said next to it is nothing.
Listen, dum dum.
I'm listening. The names. Go ahead, carry on.
It's part of the.
That's one way of getting out of a corner, right? By calling me names. But okay, don't worry about it. Continue.
Shut up. Answer what he just said.
Now remember, I haven't denied your video. Not one bit. I accept by faith what you're saying, but I have questions about how you have this atmosphere next to nothingness as you described. How does that work?
That's called gravity.
What is gravity?
It's the acceleration of mass.
The acceleration of mass is gravity.
Oh, yeah, gravity is mass attracting another mass.
What causes gravity? What's the cause of that mass, that acceleration?
What do you mean? What's the cause?
What's the cause of that? What's the cause of that acceleration? You just said You just said the acceleration is gravity. What's the cause of that acceleration?
Does that really matter?
Moyuk, I'm going to mute you. Let me ask him a question. Moyuk, hold on. We're in the middle of something right now. But Roku, you're in this corner. You just said the acceleration is gravity. Now, what's the cause of that acceleration?
Corner, buddy.
Oh, another mistake. You want to change your mind? Okay. So what is?
I can't even talk. I can't.
Well, I'll ask you again while you're in the corner. What is gravity?
Gravity. Let me turn to my resident engineer real quick.
No. Remember, you're in your corner. I don't think the rocket scientist wants to pull you out in this moment. You said you were not going to be put in a corner. You said you were not going to be outsmarted by a flat earther. You just said gravity is holding this atmosphere next to nothingness, as you described.
No, we didn't.
What is gravity?
Never said that.
What is gravity?
You never said that.
Right, he's changing the subject again. I see. That's a problem. Like, I'm going to answer this, and he's going to keep on going. Like, here's the problem, little one. Is I've shown already that your delusion, right, from the fact that you don't know you have a brain or not, that's you from understanding the data that I'm showing you.
Oh, Curve's not here. The jury rests its case.
Jury.
Yeah, we know that's wrong.
We accept we have brains, man.
Okay, so you accept you have a brain because even though you've never seen it, by the actions that you can do, you know you have a brain.
Oh, he's here.
No, not because of that.
Okay, not because of that. So we don't know. So you can't verify you have a brain at all.
I accept I've got one. I think all humans have one.
Can you verify? Capacity. Can you prove to me you have a brain?
No, not personally.
Okay, there you go. Then there's no point for me to speak with you any longer if you cannot verify and prove to me you have a brain.
Why? That's ridiculous reasoning.
No, because here's the thing. If you don't know you have a brain, right? An undisputable fact, I know I have a brain.
How are you hold on, Dawn. Clearly you don't have a brain.
How are you going to prove it to me?
Clearly, where's your brain? Where are you thinking right now? You just said, we're looking at this beautiful Earth.
You said there's the atmosphere. He's got one for me.
You said we've got this beautiful Earth next to nothingness.
Hold on.
He never said that.
How do you prove you've got a brain?
Right. How do I prove? Through my actions.
What do you mean through your actions?
I understand that my thinking and talking, right, proves that I have a brain. You know why? Because people who used to move and talk similar to I do have died, and I have cut open their heads and seen a brain before.
That's assumption. That's not proof.
Oh, no, it's a good enough proof for all of us. You guys said biology is a science, right?
That's not proof, dude. It's nowhere near proof or science.
That's not proof?
No.
That's not
science
proof.
Doesn't even prove things if you look it up.
Oh, so you don't believe in science. So you're
I'm telling you about science that you believe in. It doesn't prove things. It gives you good evidence.
Oh, because see, Chemo said that Chemo said that biology can prove we have brains.
We use the word prove colloquially. It doesn't actually prove.
Oh, so if I say a word differently, I'm
yeah, because you believe proof is like definite fact, don't you? Because someone else did science on it, it's now fact.
In mathematics, that's what proof means.
No, sorry, that isn't what science does.
That is what science does. No. Let me ask you a question. You're talking to me on a computer, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Is a computer something you witness in the natural world?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So you're not taking the approach of it because it's a non-naturally observed phenomenon, blah, blah, blah. Okay, perfect.
No, I said yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's in the natural world.
Okay, perfect. So computers exist, so satellites can exist, right? Perfect.
They could, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but you can't tell me if you have a brain because you can't see it. Even though
I have a brain, I just
but
don't
how can
know
you
it
prove
100%.
Prove it.
I can't prove it. I'm not willing to cut myself open and then not know if it's there or not after I die.
Demonstrated?
Can you demonstrate your ability?
I can prove a rabbit has a brain if you want me to by cutting it open, showing you.
Prove that you have a brain. Give me one. Anything you
you
tell me, I will accept. Any test that you tell me.
No proof.
There's no proof. You can't take a picture.
I can just tell you I've got one and give you evidence and say, look, I'm a human too.
Okay.
The thing is, with pictures, you can have fisheye curvature, barrel distortion.
People without brains.
We're not talking about pictures. We're talking about brains, right?
You've got bad logic.
The brain, the right size and the right shape to fit inside the body. The narrative's readily acceptable. The satellite narrative around the globe is not.
It's completely different things, dude.
Your narrative can work under other conceptions.
How do we get off of Chemo's argument that the nothingness of space next to the atmosphere when Roku seemed to indicate that there is a gradient that continued up?
Yeah, he messed up big time, Moya, because he said there was no. His honest answer was nothingness, right?
No, I don't think he said that.
I misspoke, and I you know.
Then you said space is part of the atmosphere. That's also wrong, mate.
No, it's not.
I never said space was part of the atmosphere.
Yeah, you did. You said okay.
Okay, hold on. So I'm still with you, Apogee. Your name should be Apogee because you know the world actually follows. It's part of the. It's an orbital definition, right? I like that idea better. Anyways, let me ask you a question. So you can verify you have a brain by doing brain tests.
Oh, look at
right?
this! This is a classic obfuscation. This is.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not. This is not an obfuscation. This is
concede so he can make his point.
I'm not concede. Oh yeah, okay, concede.
I did. I said I can't prove fully I've got a brain, but I definitely
there's no
accept
point
I
to
have
talk
one.
to you. There's
You
no
are
point
talking to me.
Well, prove you have a brain right now, then, Roku.
All right, no problem. How many different proofs do you need? Okay, let's first look at a human. Does a human have a brain?
Oh my god, this guy.
Okay, perfect. So here's my first piece of evidence, right? Humans have brains. Okay. Sorry, that was a wrong website. Here's my first piece of evidence.
What, a cartoon?
I imagine it was the page that was not the picture.
You're showing a drawing. Is this what you imagined a brain looks like?
Well, he gave you a link to a website. With the drawing.
Yeah, he's showing me a Wikipedia.
I will concede that we probably have brains. I've seen horror films and I've seen war films where people's body parts have fallen all over the ground and stuff. We probably have something like that inside of our head as well.
No, we didn't ask that, Lemon. We asked Roku to prove he has a brain.
You don't have to remove the brain from the body to prove that it's there to a reasonable standard.
No. He has to prove. He says if Dawn can't prove that he has a brain, then you can't talk to him. So Roku, how can you prove you've got a brain? Why should we talk to you unless you can prove you've got a brain?
I have a picture.
Well, go on. Let's see your brain then. Let's have a look at your brain. Prove that you have a brain. Somebody else may have a brain, but how do you know you have a brain?
Oh, I have a scan.
Well, let's have a look then. Let's see it. Let's verify it.
I don't know how to get it from the hospital, but I have
you don't know. So again, you're in the
phase. Logical deduction a reasonable conclusion that since all humans have brains,
it is logical deduction is a reasonable form of conclusion.
We all accept that.
We accept that. Again, that's not a wild claim. Yeah, right. Not a wild claim. But the way you're using physics is wild. It's outrageous, in fact.
It's actually a logical deduction from the working from first principles to that. The problem is you have no first principles.
So you don't know what gravity is. You said it's the acceleration, then you said gravity caused the acceleration. So gravity causes gravity. What you're saying to me?
No, I'm saying gravity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is where mass, like gravity is the directional force of mass attracting another mass.
The gravity is the directional force. What's the cause of that force?
Mass itself.
And who cares?
Mass is the
we
force.
can do first principles. Also, doesn't require you to go.
What's the cause of magnetism? What's the cause? What's the cause of the force of magnetism?
You can start at any point in the chain and say, "Here's what I observed." So you don't need to go about magnetism. You don't have to go back to cause.
What's the claim about magnetism?
What's the cause of magnetism?
But what's the claim? Who's disputing?
I'm asking you what the cause is. What's the cause of magnetism?
Who's disputing magnetism?
Magnetism is a moving electrical field which is accompanied by a magnetic field. That's the best that we can do currently.
Yeah, but who's disputing it though? Who's arguing over a magnet? Are you arguing over a magnet? What's the problem with magnets? Are you confused by them or something?
Well, we were talking about brains, and apparently we were confused about brains a minute ago. This is a lot closer to the conversation.
No, we're confused about magical forces. He invoked gravity. What is this?
Well,
gravity?
you said that you've got onto this long sort of first principle, first cause argument, trying to say what's the cause of that, 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 like a 3-year-old in the backseat of a long car journey.
Yeah, because
ultimately the fact that mass attracts mass.
In the real world,
the fact that mass attracts mass is measurable.
In the real world,
the fact that mass attracts mass is measurable. The fact that mass attracts mass is measurable.
And repeatable.
The magnets are attracted to opposite magnetic poles is measurable.
Who measured it?
That's it.
But gravity is a bit more occult in its formulation. It's the snake eating its tail. You're saying mass generates gravity, which accumulates mass. We don't make such a snake eating its tail sort of formulation with magnetism. We just talk about the mechanism with moving electrical field accompanied by a magnetic field, and that's it. We just stop it right there.
You don't need to go back to causes, and we can just start from where we are today. Gravity exists. We can see it. We can demonstrate it.
Where's Roku?
But
you don't seem to have
with
any.
With the occult formulation, it kind of sounds like bullshit.
You don't seem to have any knowledge.
The weak definition of what mass is, the lack of proof of a center of mass that stuff is attracted to, the way that it morphed to replace the ether by being the curvature of space-time, when before they talked about it as ether, it's just highly suspicious.
All irrelevant.
Well, suspicion can't be well quantified, can it? What can be quantified is the amount of force exerted by a magnetic charge or by a magnetic pole, and the amount of force exerted by an electric charge, and the amount of force exerted by a unit of mass. Those 3 things can be quantified and measured. Your suspicion is fucking irrelevant to everyone. Except you, of course.
The suspicion is validated because of the inconsistency, making people sniff bullshit.
That's not suspicion.
So maybe we need to look at another philosophical system.
See, it just turns
to try
into
to
a
mudslinging.
You know, this is what, instead of discussing the issue, he's saying there's gravity. Let's talk about the gravity that they believe, not just say, "Well, it's pseudo." You don't believe it.
Talking about the
let's get into what this for. Let's see if he can describe it, explain it, demonstrate it at least.
Well,
before
he's trying to provide proof, but the proof that he's offering can be replaced with other explanations of the proof, which is making his proof spurious at best.
They can't. Lemon, prove to me a satellite orbiting a flat plane at the speeds that we watch them.
We've had satellites crash out of the sky attached to balloons. So the that appears to be a bit more consistent.
A satellite moving at 2 kilometers. I mean, at 6 kilometers a second. Prove to me. Satellite
to a balloon.
We already know that those rates are inflated because of the diameter of the supposed small Earth being added to the circumferential.
Measurement. There's an accelerometer
so we
on it.
Have multiple problems.
You don't even need the accelerometer.
From another perspective.
Look at the ground speed of it. You can measure it.
I was going to say 6.9 kilometers per second ground speed. Go.
On lemons.
That's not how the speed of the satellite was given. It was not given relative to ground speed. It was given relative to the diameter of the globe Earth. Now, if you're going to go with ground speed, you're going to need to use speedometer.
Satellite speed on the ground. Lemon,
you're going to use a
we do the
speedometer.
thing with aircraft all the time. It's the same thing as aircraft. Give me something that's going
off of the speed that was very spuriously calculated based off of the diameter of a globe Earth.
Actually, it's not spurious. You know why it's not spurious? Lemon is because I know those values. Moyak was about to say the same thing too. It's not like I'm the only one who has access to this knowledge. What do you have to say for that, Lemon? 6.9 kilometers per second. What moves that fast?
Diameter of the globe Earth that hasn't been proved.
Diameter.
Check that.
Speed.
Straw man argument. Red herring. Let's go.
So you're saying that you tested the speed of that satellite relative to the ground, close to the ground, in like a lab in science lab or something. You're saying that you did that, or are you saying that you calculated it based off the assumption of the diameter of a globe Earth? What are you saying?
There's no assumption made of the diameter. It's just the fact that it's going overhead, and you can establish what its ground speed is just by observation.
That's even worse because it's going to be based off of optical geometry. As you know, parallel lines converge due to optical geometry and perspective, making the angles that you draw and the speeds that you draw spurious at best.
Okay, Lemon, tell you what. I'll give you a 20% error.
Oh, that's a big error.
It is. I'm being very generous. I'll give you a 20% error. That makes it whatever 0.8 times. I can't do that number in my head.
About 5.1, 5.2.
Thank you.
5.1.
I got 5. 5.1. Let's make it an even 5. 5 kilometers per second, Lemon. Come on.
Make a balloon go 5 kilometers per second, Lemon.
So you're saying you see this thing pass overhead 15 times a day?
No, I'm saying you see this thing pass overhead. It goes to somebody 12 miles away in 2 seconds. It passes over their head. You both can see it at the same time. You know it's the same object.
Okay. Got something passing really fast over the flat plane. Correct.
Why did it take so long for you to at least acknowledge that it goes 6 kilometers per second?
Or
that has never been contended by me. The only thing has been the shape of the Earth. It could be going in ionic wind really fast.
Bullshit. You just sat there and talked about optical geometry this and optical geometry
not the questionable narrative that you're crafting, trying to imply that the only narrative that it makes sense with is a globe.
I'm going to hold you on point on this one. You started this whole bullshit line by saying there was satelloons. The point that we made that it needs to be traveling this fast, your so-called satellite needs to be traveling this fast. You need to demonstrate this, if that's the position you're going to have, that it's a satelloon, not a satellite.
Well, if it's a satelloon, the next question becomes, what is the quality of the wind up there, ionic or otherwise, that's pushing the object?
You're going to bullshit and deflect, isn't it? You're going to bullshit and deflect.
But higher, the wind seems to get less and less. So the super high altitude balloons, 127,000 feet, I think is the record. Maybe it was 170,000. Its ground speed is like reduced to like 24 miles per hour, I think.
Interesting. What about ionic wind or other propulsion mechanisms like nuclear power, airplane,
nuclear power? Okay,
drone,
what's the thrust?
Solar.
How do you use this nuclear power for thrust? And what is the thrust of a nuclear engine?
The nuclear-powered engine or whatever would just power the thing along and help it push forward, I guess. You have a nuclear reaction, boom,
nuclear
explosion,
reaction just
goes over there or something. I don't know.
That's handy.
Anyway, what other mechanisms are possible over, say, the flat plane?
Oh, prove it to us. You said you could. There could be another explanation. Prove to us an example of a flying metal box moving at a rate of 11,184 miles per hour against the ground speed. Show us one example.
Right. We would have to see what other explanations are out there.
I can't.
Also, we have satelloons crashing out of the sky attached to balloons. We do not see this globe narrative being very.
You're deflecting. Stay on point.
You
made a claim that a satellite can go that fast.
Propositions aren't even fully formed. It's a satellite, therefore globe, which is affirming the consequence. You need to pick that apart.
They have nuclear propelled rockets.
Keep
but they
squirming,
use a lot of their
This is very, very entertaining.
But you let this dude have a mixed proposition when we're trying to prove the shape of the Earth by saying and affirming the consequent with satellite, therefore globe, and you didn't even call him on it. We need to pick apart that badly formed proposition. It can't be helped, dude.
At the level of, we don't know if it's moving so fast, so we've been stuck here and then trying to prove gravity's root cause and stuff like that. Rather than actually having a discussion, you've tried to derp your way out by going on to every single question you can to stop the conversation.
He left.
And he does frequently.
He does that often.
Oh shit! Oh, anyone else?
He was talking about the upper atmosphere. So the polar jet stream can travel at speeds greater than 180 kilometers per hour. That's like, it's not even, it's like a fraction of a kilometer per second.
Okay, so can anyone else here, apothesis or chemo, provide an example?
What we found is that you've got this religious belief, you've got this idea, you've got rocket scientists, your priest here, and you're not demonstrating anything that you know to be true with any science. Remember, you spoke about biology. You spoke about the brain, which is, you know, a form of science. But when it comes to
apple and oranges, but they're both spoiled fruit, so they have that commonality.
When it comes to
you
failed to provide anything that's
educated,
demonstrable.
and I'm able to understand this, and he's not.
So you do have a pseudoscience. You don't have anything that's practical. I asked you, how does the atmosphere...
Wait, was that a rhetorical question, or can I actually try and answer that?
Can you answer that?
He's a fucking moron. I mean, I could just start with that.
Okay.
So I asked you.
Please add to that if you wish.
I asked you, how does the atmosphere stay next to nothingness, as you described, and you invoked.
Who said that? Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
You just joined, Quinn. He did say nothingness.
Did you ask him what space was? And he said
been here
nothingness.
for quite some time. I don't know what you're talking about, Kimo.
So,
Kimo, what's in between gas molecules?
No, it fills the space. There is nothing in between.
What? There's nothing in between them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's nothing in between that you could demonstrate.
So there's nothing in between gas
nothing
molecules.
That you could demonstrate.
A vacuum between all molecules.
There was nothing that you could demonstrate, Quinn.
Between the gas molecules.
Yeah, there was nothing that you could demonstrate. Yeah.
Between the gas molecules.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
There's
right.
nothing you could demonstrate. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you fucking prick.
Yeah, that's right.
With nothing.
Let's get back to. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So Roku, you did invoke magical forces, pulling down the atmosphere, but you failed to demonstrate this. Do you have a demonstration to show mass attracting mass?
I can show you a huge number of papers if you like.
Yeah, I can show you a huge number of papers in the Bible. Would you accept it?
Depends. Do they have any scientific evidence supporting them?
Yeah, you just got to go out there. You just got to go out there and find it. Just look for it.
Well, if it's not actually got the evidence in the paper, then it's not really in the paper, is it?
Right, that's what I would say to you. If your paper doesn't have an experiment to go with it, it's not really a paper, then, is it?
Well, you didn't say that.
All right, so instead of giving me the paper, then, Quinn, give me the experiment.
Well, the paper describes the experiment.
Well,
that's how
the Bible
work.
explains the religion and the spirit.
You realize? No, Cavendish has nothing to do with it. Cavendish is a terrible example of this experimental line.
Right, so instead of giving me your papers, Quinn, do you have the experiment to go with the paper?
I'm talking to Moyok.
Why is that a terrible example? I think it's not designed. The experiment was not designed specifically to prove gravity, but it's a wonderful demonstration of gravity.
Well, fair enough if you on principle, but if you're looking for very powerful scientific proof, very compelling and repeatable proof, it's not nearly as accurate and not nearly as compelling as far more modern means of doing it. It's a poor experiment compared to modern ways of doing it. Same as a Foucault pendulum. Dude, just a second. Just the same as a Foucault's pendulum, yeah, technically it proves the rotation of the Earth quite elegantly, and it's an elegant proof in principle, but it's far less accurate than a ring laser gyro. That's a better experiment. It produces more predictable results. That's my point.
All right, so what would be now? The problem is that these guys are satanic. So
these religious zealots will never accept anything.
Yeah, Foucault's pendulum is relatively reproducible by lay people. Of any of the other experiments that you could think of for gravity are as easily reproduced by lay people?
Well, Foucault's pendulum has nothing to do with gravity. Well, apart from the obvious in that Foucault's pendulum demonstrates rotation, not gravity.
I meant Cavendish.
Yeah, I mean, you can build a Sagnac interferometer in your living room. There's a guy on YouTube who did it. I mean, you could buy a ring laser gyro and calibrate it. There's people who do that every day.
Right.
You could use a strap down. You could buy a second-hand strap down INS from a plane and calibrate that and use that. There's 1,000 ways of doing it.
Well, I'm sorry, that's movement based, isn't it?
Well, we're talking about rotation, aren't we?
No, we were talking about gravity.
I was sorry, you brought up. Okay, you were asking me about Foucault's pendulum.
I said it by accident.
Okay, doke. So what? You're talking about Cavendish then?
Cavendish is easily reproduced by lay.
Yeah, Moik, if you want to have a chit chat, a one-on-one with Quinn, can you take it into another room there, Moik? Because we were discussing, we were having a conversation about science, and you're a bit derailing, Moik. Yeah.
You mean you want the attention
fuck
back?
off and let him finish?
Yeah, like I said, you're derailing. We're having a. So, do you concede then that the Earth's not a globe, then, Roku?
You want the attention, do you, Kimo?
No, we want to give the flat Earth and the globe Earth and science the attention. It's not about you preaching to the choir, preaching about papers that you can't back up with a demonstration, right? And wasting your life saying, "Oh, you've done all these things that you can't prove to be true." It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about what we can prove.
Not about you, then leave.
Yeah.
It's about what we can demonstrate, right?
Yeah.
You just picked someone else out of the conversation. You were like, "Oh, I'm talking to Moya." Like, what gives you the right?
Well, because he was trampling all over it.
No, Moya trampled all over the discussion. We were having. You were trying to prove gravity. You were trying to prove gravity, Quinn.
I think more than one person is allowed to have a conversation at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
Rather than it basically being Kimo versus whoever replies.
Yeah, but he's got
if you were a moderator,
tangent,
I'd listen to you, but you're not. So you have to go somewhere else to have your little 1v1 conversation about whatever fucking weird shit you're reading online.
Yeah, he's got off into a tangent. We were talking about gravity. You went on to Earth
Whatever
spin.
weird shit I'm reading online.
Moy's talking about pendulums.
Let's go back to Cavendish. Cavendish is a
we were
fine
talking
example.
about Cavendish. You're talking about pendulums. We're going on to Earth's rotation, right? You're just derailing.
Can we move on
You're
from
just
there?
derailing the conversation, Moik. Right? That's what you're doing. So
you said it. Demonstrate. You asked somebody to demonstrate gravity, and I said a good demonstration was Cavendish.
Great, and this guy just said to you that he's demonstrating rotation. So please, just fucking hear Kimo and stop being assholes. For fuck's sakes, do you not hear what you're talking about? The other guy just said
Who's talking right now? What fucking retard is talking right now?
Tommy's talking. And the point still stands, you fucking bitch. You're derailing the conversation. Go have a 1v1. No, I'm not. I'm bringing up the fact that you don't even know what you're talking about. He's talking about rotation. You're talking about gravity. You two are having you're an idiot.
But we already resolved that, like adults.
Yeah, because
let's get back to the debate that was happening. Fuck's sakes. You guys
we already resolved that problem.
So much. You guys are so fucked in the head that you guys
Why
are so
you consuming airtime with this?
Why you not letting him speak? Why can't Tommy speak?
Because he's being a cunt.
Yeah, but you were just speaking. You were just saying your piece.
The fact of the matter, and you're upset at it.
Mike, you're interrupting Tommy.
Because he's upset. Because I've brought the fact of what just happened, and he's mad at it. Right? You're unintelligent, Boyak. You have a very childish response to everything. Yes, I troll. Yes, I say stupid shit. But when it counts, I'm on point.
You're a cunt.
And then you're being a fucking bitch.
When does it count, Tommy?
Arrogant piece of shit. Count it right now.
Arrogant. I love that word.
Arrogant.
Nice one.
Both of you.
That means you have a very small opinion of yourself. You didn't just call people
names either. You fucking arrogant hypocrite. Shut your fucking mouth.
Pity. Or else what?
Look, I can do it too.
Or what?
Nothing.
Or fucking nothing, right? So maybe he's put the toy back in the pram.
Maybe get muted. You're derailing the conversation. I'm just pointing that out.
Who's the
How
channel
about we're
right
that?
now? Or are you just going to keep on bitching?
I'm gonna keep on bitching until the conversation gets back to where it was.
No, we can't do that with you fucking talking. Shut up.
How about you shut the fuck up too then, you piece of shit.
You're fucking
You're
faggot
so
ass.
high and mighty. Shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of your voice.
Chemo, your impotence is showing.
Hey, it's free speech, Curved. When you want to have your little rant,
okay.
everyone has to be quiet, right? Like now.
You don't like what I'm saying, Chemo.
Like you don't interrupt people going on with your rhetoric too, calling people faggots and shit.
Chemo, how talking nothing about the conversation.
No, because there's no conversation right now, Curve. It's me being a fucking cunt because I'm addressing two other fucking
that resembles a fucking conversation in here. You guys have been doing.
But we can't because Moyoc is too high and mighty on his fucking moral horse.
Roku's fault. Try to be better. Try to be better.
Okay, so again, where the conversation got bowed down basically was when we asked you about what's keeping the atmosphere to the Earth next to nothingness, as you described, and
Nobody
you
said
invoked.
that.
He did say that. He said nothingness.
No, he didn't.
He wasn't here when he said that, but he said nothingness.
No, we didn't.
He said it and he retracted.
Yeah, he retracted.
What is keeping the atmosphere to the Earth, Chemo?
Basically, if he was listening, if we'd have got through that conversation, he would have learned that there was low pressure there. We don't have to describe exactly what it is. But we have to understand the fundamentals.
Why is there
of that.
so much more pressure down near the surface and reduce as you go up? Why is that?
No, but that's the point. What we're looking at is not a real image.
Yeah, well, why does it do that?
It doesn't do that.
Well, it does. It's measurable.
We would have established that.
Okay, so we got a deluded fuckwit leading the show here.
No, we would have established
An absolute retard is in charge of the entire fucking BC right now.
You're in charge, Curve.
That's the situation we find ourselves in. We need a little better than this.
So look, the idea was that we were told the atmosphere has been held down by gravity, and next to it,
and that's why
is a very.
What do you say it's held down by?
It's not being held down.
And why is it down?
It's not down.
It is down. It's not up.
What we see in that image, what we see now, the atmosphere next to that low pressure is impossible in reality. Impossible. That could never ever happen.
Communicating with you on this is what is impossible.
That is, it's a very difficult
Why
subject.
is there so much more atmosphere down low near the surface? What is pushing it down, pulling it down, making it be the way that it is? Some people think it don't be like it is, but it do, Chemo. Now, how can you explain that?
It would require a pressure, a force. It doesn't have that force. It cannot happen.
You're babbling, Chemo. I want to hear
it. It requires a force. It cannot happen in the real world.
What's your force? What force are you invoking?
So, for example, if that was a real ball, and for example, if that was next to a real vacuum, or low pressure, as it were, then you would have gravity.
Done! Great!
Or you could call it gravity.
Well, you can call it whatever you like. It doesn't matter what you call it.
Yeah, you would have a force.
We're done.
But
we're in agreement.
We know in reality, demonstrate gas pressure next to a vacuum is just impossible.
Pressure.
But pressure doesn't need to be next to a vacuum. It just needs to be next to a slightly lower pressure.
When we say vacuum, we say that you can think of it as lower pressure.
That's not what vacuum means.
There is no such thing as a vacuum. Nothing is a void. No voids. Nature abhors a vacuum.
What's in between the gas molecules?
Nothing. Gas fills the space.
So you think the gas molecules are physically touching each other? Like right up next to each other, like people in a bus queue?
No, there's no pressure applied anywhere. Gases are at equilibrium. There are no forces acting on whatsoever.
Okay, that's actually interesting. So the gases are at equilibrium at a particular altitude above the Earth's surface, right? Because we know that there are more gas molecules per cubic meter closer to the Earth's surface than further away.
Yeah, well, like I say...
Yes. Okay, thank you. Yes, there's no need to retract that straight away. I think that's a very fair admission. You take a cubic foot. You take a cubic. No, please, come on. I'm being serious.
Well, the yes was okay.
You take a cubic meter. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so that wasn't a yes in agreement. It was more, yeah, wow, I hear what you're saying. But again, in reality, we know gas fills the space if there were such thing as gas. And what we're dealing with in the atmosphere is
okay, it's trolling time. Never mind, guys.
Yeah, like I say, so you're not going to be able to demonstrate or speak about anything you can demonstrate. It's simply preaching for validation.
So are you just banking on the fact that people you speak to don't know how to operate like chemical apparatus?
No, I know you don't. I know you can't demonstrate anything.
Dude, I'm an astronomer. I can walk outside right now and like prove to you how, like, I can prove to you that there's like ionized oxygen in the path of my scope.
No, you can't. Stop being silly.
I asked, do you want to see my raw data?
I think you're wrong there.
Yeah,
I think you're wrong. You cannot prove to chemo. You can prove to me.
No, not to me.
You can prove to almost anybody here.
Show to Scott right now what you're talking about. Yeah, prove to Scott right now what you're talking about.
Because he's too stupid to understand what you're going to tell him.
Show it to Scott right now what you're going to prove.
But yeah, he doesn't need to. I already know he's right.
Let's see what you're going to show to Scott.
Doesn't matter. I already know he's right. You're not going to hear it.
There you go.
No.
Hey,
whatever you show chemo, you would not hear it.
You're going to show the same thing that's next to that vacuum. What Roku said.
It's a waste of time trying to talk to chemo about anything.
I know that. I'm not trying to convince chemo of anything because chemo already knows he's full of shit. He's only doing this so people talk to him. That's the only reason.
No, we're doing it to highlight that
you might be right there. You might be right there.
Don't actually know anything what they're talking about.
The fact that you can't get like even 30 minutes chemo, like the short 30 minutes that even I'm here, you can't get from one side of that half an hour to the other and remain consistent within your own speech, proves to me that you're not interested in reality at all.
It usually takes around 20 minutes to show a globe Earth that they don't know what they're talking about. It doesn't take long, no.
You see, so change the subject. Quick change the subject. Oh no, I feel a little bit insecure. Let's try and start a different argument.
Like usually after the first 5-10 minutes, it starts to go downhill.
No,
20 minutes.
You can actually tell that you're starting to get that whole molding thing going on. You know, the mad balding thing. When your voice gets all low like that.
By 20 minutes, it's like we're talking to a drunk person.
Is that how long it takes you to get drunk?
No, the person with 5 minutes. First 5 minutes, you're so confident and so yes, we can prove it. We've got all of this, and then 10 minutes, and it's like, oh gosh, we're going downhill. 20 minutes in,
that's all it takes to realize you're all paralytic idiot.
Look, you're all raving lunatics now, right? Where's the maturity from you guys? Demonstrate your claim.
Where's the immaturity? I don't know.
Right.
You can't demonstrate it to you, chemo. It's impossible to demonstrate it to you.
No one's trying to demonstrate it to chemo. I don't think.
Well, stop making wild claims.
Well, that'd be a waste of time, right?
Make your claims in secret. Don't teach the next generation your nonsense.
It doesn't matter, chemo. Nobody can demonstrate anything to you. You won't listen.
You guys need to open your ears and learn something today, okay? Chemo's trying to explain this to you. You need to get in line and learn what the new establishment's got in store for you. Understand?
David, do you think gas exists?
Oh, don't. No.
Chemo knows the drill.
No, don't go there.
Please no.
Well, I didn't say the air word, at least.
Why don't you tell us real quick what air is? What is air?
Hey,
all right, so
what's with that fucking echo? Who is that?
It's got echo. I think it's David. I think it's David.
Yeah.
But Quinn, David asked you a question. Are you man enough to answer this question? David asked you what is air exactly?
What is air?
What is air, Quinn?
What is air?
I asked him a question first. He didn't answer mine.
Of course he won't. Chemo will never answer a question.
I'm not talking about chemo. I'm talking about David. I asked David a question. He didn't answer me, so.
That's fair.
I feel under no special obligation to coerce the chemo's little taunts.
Good point.
David, did you read that field manual I gave you yesterday?
Don't try to change the subject. Mr. Chemo asked you a question, what is air? And give us your best knowledge.
I asked you a question. I asked you a question first, my friend. I asked you if you thought gas was real, and then you didn't answer.
It's because of the sun. I already know that. Thank you very much.
Gas is because of the sun. Okay, that's
Yeah, you can have gas in a
terrible
can
answer.
and container.
Gas
I didn't say that. We're talking about atmosphere.
Gas rises and falls because of the sun. You're exactly right.
David's the fucking presidential candidate.
Hey,
You can't just
take your phone off speaker, man.
Okay, so we answered your question. What is air then, Quinn?
It's because of the sun. He told you.
Yeah, so he said there's gas because of the sun. But what he's asking you, what is air now?
Well, he told you it's because of the sun.
What is air? Air is
Because of the sun.
That's your answer. How does
That's
that
David's answer, and that's good enough for you. You guys agree, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's your answer? What is air?
It's because of the sun. Jesus Christ, dude.
What's
he's going to
because
keep
of the sun?
asking the same question
What
over
is
and over.
I know.
because of the sun?
I'm in for the long haul, dude. I've got a fucking bag of popcorn here.
What is because of the sun?
Ask
David's
David.
answer.
David, what is because of the sun?
That air rises and falls. Gravity's not a force. Remember that. What makes the air rise and fall? The sun does.
Okay, so he answered you, Quinn. Are you satisfied?
Well, no, because that means that what he answered earlier wasn't an answer to my question.
So
Now I'm confused.
So make your question clear then. What's your question?
I asked him, does he think gas exists?
Do you think it exists, David?
I think that what is it, like 98% water gas? Yeah, I believe that.
Okay.
Oh no! Well, now you two guys disagree with one another. Oh,
Okay,
dear.
so what's
How will
that?
we
What's
ever
that got to do?
reconcile this?
What does it have to do with you, Quinn?
Let him fight it out. Chemo, you fight it out with David.
Quinn, what
Go.
does that have to do with you?
I agree.
Well, I'm
Chemo, Dave,
hearing
work it
the
out.
conversation.
I know,
You
but
keep
because
asking
me and
questions,
David
you
disagree,
keep
what does that have to
involving
do
me,
with
so I
you?
feel the
Why
need
is that
to
your problem?
rise to the challenge.
Why is that your problem?
You and
Are you
David.
getting upset, Chemo? It sounds like you might be getting upset.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Chemo
I'm
and
saying,
David,
why
go.
is that your problem if me and
Go,
David
yeah.
Are
disagree?
you getting
Chemo
a
and Dave.
little bit upset?
Chemo, why are you deflecting? Fight David.
Chemo and Dave, go.
Why is that your problem there, Quinn?
So David
Figure out what air
thinks
is.
gas exists.
Go
He
for
calls it water gas, which I'm not going to argue with. Chemo said gas doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Just an opinion.
Go for it.
Why do you
Just
care
an-
about?
just
Why
an
do you care about an
opinion.
opinion? Yeah. What's your opinion?
Just an opinion.
What's your opinion?
So it's just an opinion.
That's what we're here to
Okay.
give our opinion. Yeah. Who has the facts? Do you have the facts?
No, well, facts and opinions are different things. are they
Exactly. So do you have the facts then?
not? You have an opinion.
Yeah, I gave you my opinion. David gave his opinion. Do you have the facts?
Upon what question?
The question, your question that we've been asking you about gas and air. What is air?
Well, no, I asked David if he thought gas was real. and
Yeah,
now we've
you asked him what he
established
thought. He gave his opinion.
You think it's not?
So he's given his opinion. I've given you my opinion. You're afraid to give your opinion.
Well, no, I think gas is real.
Okay, but what is air? He answered your question.
Well, no, I've answered yours. I've said gas is real.
Okay.
That's also a question that David's asked about 47 times.
No,
and been
David
answered
asked you what
47
is air.
times.
You asked, do you think gas is real? Two different questions.
Yeah, but I only have to answer one question. You know, that's how it works. I answer one, you answer one. You know, we're children.
Well, who asked you a question? What was the question?
I don't remember. You've just asked me another one, though. So now, I mean, I don't know how many questions that is.
That's what I'm asking. How much? You still haven't given an answer to any of these questions. Not one of these
Which
questions.
questions?
Well, the first question was, what is air? You didn't answer that.
Well, because I'd already asked David if he thought gas was real.
And he answered that. He gave his opinion. And then when we asked you
Yeah,
your
and
question...
I said I think gas is real too.
But we didn't ask you that. We didn't ask you about gas.
Yeah, you
took
did.
it up. No,
David
we didn't.
did.
You took it upon yourself that talk about gas. You asked us what
No,
did
you,
David think
you
about...
asked me for my opinion.
No,
and I said I
not
think
your.
gas
No,
is
we
real
didn't.
too, so
You're
that's
lying.
2 to
You're
1
wrong.
against
No,
you.
that's not true. You asked us what do we think about gas. We gave us our opinion. Now our question is to you: what is air?
So you asking me what air is?
We've asked you about 5 times. Me and David
I think
both.
air is. I think air is gas.
Okay, so that's what we're saying. We're asking you. That's the question.
So, David, do you believe in air?
Is David still here?
Yeah, he's
breaking
here.
up.
I believe in air. Go ahead.
Sweet. Awesome. Right. So David believes in air. I also believe in air. Chemo, do you believe in air? Councillor, Congressman?
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. Fucking hell. David, me, and Chemo agree on something.
What is air? What is air?
It's gas. It's gas.
A superfluid.
Where did the gas come from?
Well, you told me it came from the sun, right?
Yeah, the sun produces it. Yeah, that's probably right.
That is right, actually. That's spot the fuck
But it's
on.
not
It
about.
does come from
The question
sun.
is not about where is the gas come? Where does the gas come from? It's about where does the gas pressure come from?
Good question.
We
Well,
know
David says it comes from the
We know
sun.
that in a container, it's off the walls, right? Presses off the walls, gives you a pressure. Now, in the atmosphere, there are no walls. There's nothing to press on. So how
Well,
do you
there's
have gas
one
pressure?
wall.
How do you have gas pressure without the container, Quinn?
There's one wall.
Where's the wall?
Well, that would be the ground.
Ground is a wall, so the gases are pressing off the ground.
Well, yeah, obviously that's how you can measure the weight of air above you.
You weigh the air by pressing off the ground.
Well, it presses down, therefore you can weigh it, so it has to be pressing against the ground.
No,
gas exerts the pressure on any flat object.
No, air rises, Quinn.
So why am I able to breathe it then?
What do you mean why you aim? Because air is all around you.
But if it rises, how come it hasn't all risen far away from me? And why aren't I choking to death on your
Because we've got the
eloquent
ocean.
explanations?
We've got oceans. There's more water than there is land.
You ran out of words, didn't you, pal? I'm so sorry.
Well, where do you think the gas comes from? That you're breathing?
From the sun. We already got that far. Keep up.
No, that's not where the gases come from.
That's what David said.
David gave his opinion.
Yeah, but we all agreed. Before you, me, and David all agreed.
No, that's not my. Remember, me and David. So you're not listening. You're not listening, Quinn. Are you? You're not paying attention. Don't you remember that me and David disagree, Quinn? You were just saying challenge David because we
David
disagree.
Talk? You kind of stomped on him there.
Yeah, but you forgot that me and David disagree. Remember, you were saying challenge him.
Carry on,
him.
David.
David, do that.
Oh, it's a shame. You frightened him away.
What did you say?
Sorry, Sorry, David. We were trying to establish, like, so my understanding was that you'd said that air comes from the sun. The gas comes from the sun. Did I misunderstand that?
Yeah, when the sun evaporates water, then it turns into water gas, and then the whole atmosphere is water gas up to 20 miles.
Okay.
And then it's just too cold to go any higher.
What is water gas?
Evaporated water.
So steam or water vapor?
Yes, just water.
An iceberg.
What percentage? What percentage is that from oxygen to water vapor that we breathe in?
Well, water, when it turns to a gas, then it's breathable. Just like it has oxygen in the water gas itself.
We breathe in the water. That's what you're saying.
You breathe in water gas, which has oxygen in it, H2O, right? Oxygen.
What's the percentage, and how do you know that?
Well, we've got a vast research division that we're working on this day and night.
I need to know right now since you made that claim.
Well, we've got a lot of intellectual property rights going on right now. So
well, listen, we're going from the point here, David. We're talking about the gas pressure. Okay, Quinn is explaining where the pressure
why are you
comes
trying to
from.
interject? Chemo, I'm talking to David.
Because we're
Shut the fuck up.
we want to know where the gas pressure comes from.
No, you made a claim that we breathe in water gas. I want to know the percentages.
No, you need to tell me how this water gas is pressing on you.
I don't know why you're trying to deflect. It's a simple question. What are the percentages between water gas?
Yeah, you say gas. What is gas? Define gas.
Chemo, shut up.
What is air? That's the question on the table.
No, the question is, what's the difference?
You haven't defined it.
What's the percentage between water gas and oxygen that we breathe in the atmosphere? That's your claim. You should back it up.
2%, 1%, 5%, 10%.
Chemo, shut up.
What difference does it make? 15%.
Chemo, 80%. Shut up.
It's a nonsensical
David,
question.
No, you're not going to back up your claim.
We're in the middle of in the process right now of establishing one thing. What is air?
Then you don't have a claim. You should shut the fuck up when it comes to making claims like that.
I told you my claim is air is 98% water gas.
Cosmonaut, why don't you get a paper from a fifth grader?
That's your claim. Then why can't you prove it?
Remember when you said to Brummy, "Oh, look at this."
Who the
citation.
fuck are you talking to, Chemo?
Right, and he showed that you were wrong.
Chemo, shut the fuck up.
Why don't you go and do a bit of revision? Right, go and learn from a fifth grader.
Chemo, who are you talking to?
Shut the fuck up. He's talking to who he addressed. You shut the
Yeah,
fuck
why are you
up.
trying to save David? Come on.
Well, you're the one that got it wrong with the fifth grader, trying to act all smart.
Chemo's the
Come on,
moderator.
David. Where's your empirical evidence, buddy? Come on.
Chemo is the moderator in this conversation.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not, David. I'm just saying. I'm saying to
Chemo's a piece of shit. He's not a moderator.
Cosmonaut here. That where's his fifth grader paper that he got wrong?
I'm just asking for David's evidence. It's not that
the
hard.
moderator.
Right. So you're acting all smart.
Quinn's the new moderator.
That would be a sight.
Quinn's the moderator. Here we go.
Quinn's the moderator.
David, why can't you back up
the moderator? Somebody give me the button.
Why can't David back up his claim?
I'm echoing. I can't talk. Y'all have got to talk to Chemo for a minute. Hold on.
No, that's not Chemo's claim. It's David's claim. I'm just asking for David to back up his claim. It's not that hard.
You can just type it, David. It's okay. You don't have to talk if you have to.
Let me make a phone call down to the research department, see if I can get some paperwork pulled up. I'll call.
Yeah, call the morgue and ask for, ask for the body. Put it on the phone.
Say, what did you die of? I died of 98% water in my lungs.
Why do you think water's water when it's a gas? That's what I don't understand. Why don't you explain that to us? Why would a water as a gas be any different than any other gas that you dream up that's your atmosphere that's being held down by gravity and pressing on your head?
You're still failing to back up your claim there, dude.
So
I can understand that you're scared and that
Quinn's
you
got away
want to
with it.
deflect from it.
Talking about gravity like it's a real
Changing the subject with a boring tone of voice.
And now you want to move on to David. I tell you how much water.
Yeah, I'm just asking David to back
body.
up his claim. I don't know why Chemo has to chime in with David backing up his claim.
Because it's just silliness.
Because Chemo needs attention.
Yes, it is silly to ask somebody to back up their claim. I know it's very silly in your world.
Well, you don't back up any of your claims.
But in the real world, that's how this thing
works. If the Earth's surface is 70% water and it's evaporating 24 hours a day, even the icebergs are evaporating. How much of that water do you think turns into a gas and fills up the atmosphere? About 98%. Well, there you go.
I don't know. Why don't you show your work?
I think some of it turns into rain.
What do you think? Why don't you show us some evidence?
I'm still waiting on you to show me evidence that it's 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen.
That's already been given to you. It's a good try.
That's the ball Earth heliocentric claim, is that we're breathing nitrogen. So.
Yeah, you still have yet to back up your claim. I know you're trying to deflect. You're backed into a corner. It's very difficult for you.
Let me ask you a question. Could you breathe pure nitrogen and live?
I'm not answering questions until you back up your claim.
You only breathe nitrogen at night. Everybody knows.
You think if I put you in a room and I pumped in 78%
You think
nitrogen?
you back up your claim if I asked you like one more time, or do you think you're just going to keep deflecting?
If I threw you in a vacuum chamber, with that was pulled down and put nitrogen and oxygen in there, do you think you could live? Can you show me a rat study that proves that the atmosphere is 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen by putting a rat in a cage and feeding them this much air, please?
Not until you back up your claim, dude.
I mean, I think that if you're going to claim that air is 78% nitrogen,
why are you deflecting from your own claim? I know it's scary, dude. I know it's scary to offer empirical evidence for your own claim.
We want to see some rat studies of your claim that air is 78% nitrogen.
I never made that claim. You actually made a positive claim, and you're refusing to back it up.
That is what's on the table. That's what's in your school books. That's what you learn. That's what you believe.
That's not my claim, though. That's You're saying I said something that I didn't say. Now you actually made a positive claim, and I'm actually asking you to back it up.
You have to have a position around.
Why are you deflecting, David?
You have to have a position.
Your percentage of water gas to oxygen. Let's hear it.
You have no position in this argument, so there's null and void.
You made the positive claim, dude. Come on.
David's got you, Cosmonaut.
All right, he can't do it. We'll just agree that he can't do it since I've been asking for 5 minutes.
Cosmo, you just kept repeating the same thing over and over again. You're like a child.
And you just chime in without being asked to again.
Yeah, I know that's difficult for you, Chemo. I know it's difficult for your side to actually back up the shit that they talk. So when pressed into a corner, he keeps deflecting. That's all I wanted to see is how many times he would deflect from the correct question.
He's giving his opinion, right? Not like you guys.
All I asked him to do is back up his own claim.
Not a claim, it's his opinion. He's allowed to give an opinion.
His opinion.
Yeah. It's an opinion.
Keep white knighting for him, Chemo. It's a good look for you, buddy.
Nobody here, none of you guys have any facts. You have your opinion. That's all you got.
Keep white knighting for him, dude. Keep trying to save David. You'll get there one day.
Right, you need a force, you need a formula, you need a rate of curve, you need to establish the horizontal.
Yeah, keep deflecting.
You to do
it's a
before you can even attack David for his opinion. Right?
Sounds like Kimo is nervous about something. He keeps going, you don't have evidence, you guys live in a lie in the fantasy, and he goes on and on with his bullshit. As if repeating it more times will make it more true.
Fact is, Roku wasn't able to demonstrate anything but his faith in
Thank you for proving my point, Chemo.
Keep
repeating that. Keep repeating. Keep talking, Chemo. Keep saying it. In your world, that makes it more true.
And this is why we say
you got to make sure you say that. Demonstrate to you. Right?
No. He has to show.
No. Yes. Demonstrate to you. Right?
No, not to me, to the
world.
He was
unable to demonstrate to you.
For everybody.
No. He demonstrated to the world just fine.
No,
the rest of the world
believes
heard him.
You don't believe it.
You're the only one who did it, Chemo. Everybody else believed him. You did.
I don't. How do you know someone really believes something, right? And you don't really believe it because you can't demonstrate it. I can show you what water can and can't do. You can't. That's the difference.
Chemo? You're just wrong. To you.
I can demonstrate the rate of things falling. So we can change the medium, we control the rate. We can change the direction of objects. Left, right, up, down, anywhere you want, depending on the density. It's all relative.
Yep.
You see?
You find that persuasive. The rest of us find that stupid.
So that's what we're able to do.
You're online all by yourself here, Chemo.
Whereas you guys
think
have
that's persuasive. We think that's stupid.
Yeah, you think papers are the way to go about it. Fine, write it down. Write down your thoughts. All you want.
Yes, we do.
Write your own Bible, write your own little booklet, fine. Well, we'll do practical demonstrations and show things don't just fall down because of a force. There is no force that pulls things down. You can control that through density. Right? Very simple.
Yeah. And nothing anybody can ever say is going to tell you otherwise, right?
Yeah, if
there's no evidence anybody can come up with that will show you otherwise, right? You've determined that this is a fact, and you will not accept anything that disproves
No,
it,
because
right?
we've looked at your evidence. We've
No,
looked
yes,
at your
yes, yes.
science.
No, yes.
No,
Exactly
if you
what
could show
do.
mass attracting
Yes.
mass, that would show, for me at least, that you have this force.
We have.
No, you
we
haven't.
have shown that. You
No,
close
you
your
haven't shown
eyes
that.
and say, no, I'm not listening. I'm not listening.
That's not science.
Everybody
Scott.
else has seen it, Chemo.
Yeah,
Everybody else has seen it. You're the only one who hasn't.
I don't know why you're
Everybody
panicking
else
for.
has seen it.
I don't know what
except
this.
you.
I don't know what this extreme fanaticism is. You're demonstrating it.
That's only in your mind, Chemo.
No, you're being fanatical about your religion.
It's only fanatical.
You're trying to
you.
change the subject again.
Only to you, Chemo.
No,
Not
but
to
don't
anybody
you
else in
think
this
you
world.
sound fanatical though, shouting like this, screaming like this?
It's tough love, Chemo. It's tough love. It's just tough love communication, buddy.
Sounds fundamental, like a Christian, like me, like when I preach the
You're not a
word
Christian.
of God and preach
You're
the
not a
word of the
Christian.
Lord, like
That
obviously
is
not here, not a
funny.
religious place, but
Christian
obviously when
like
I get
you.
down and preach the word, you know, I'm really fanatical. I'm like, come on, right? You've got to believe. Not the time or the place. Now,
Nope.
Scott sounds like
Nope.
when we go out preaching, right?
Nope.
Spreading the good word
Nothing.
about
Nope. Not
Jesus
even close.
died for your sins, right? You must believe.
Not even close.
Repent. That's what we're like. Come on, you've got to repent. Come on, Jesus died for you.
Jesus didn't actually
Believe.
say that.
And Scott's like the same thing. It's like, come on, dude. This is supposed to be science, right? It's supposed to be rational.
Jesus didn't tell anybody they had to
logical.
do anything.
It's supposed to be rational,
It's
logical,
it's not our fault. You're
reasonable.
stupid.
Again, you're acting
It's
out.
not our fault. You can't, Chemo. It's not our fault. You can't understand this stuff.
No,
Well,
I
you
understand
can.
the difference.
I can
though.
understand it.
I've heard them 1,000
No,
times.
but I can separate
Try to explain
science
it to
and
you,
religion,
and
Scott.
you fail to understand it. That's not our fault. We can't do any better. We've
No,
done the best
again,
we can do.
we can
The rest
sep-
is up to you now, man.
we
It's
can-
up to you.
I heard
It's
you.
up to you.
Scott. I heard you, Scott. Fanatical what? But look, yeah.
No, you don't.
The difference between science and religion, you know, we have to draw a line between the two.
Why?
Science
No,
will
we
give-
don't. No, we don't. You do.
Yeah,
we
you draw a
don't.
line. You separate them. So you have
No,
science
no,
over here,
no,
religion
actually,
over
we
here.
don't.
Chemo, you should stop using the pronoun we, because you're just speaking for yourself. So use I instead. You should say, I have to draw a line because I need this to be true.
Yep, you, me,
Not
all
we.
of us. We all do, right?
No, we
No,
don't.
no, we don't. No, we don't, Chemo. You do. You
What?
and you alone.
Are you
Well,
saying
you
that
and a
science
few other
is
idiots
religion?
on this. You and you alone do this.
So
The rest
you're
of the
saying that
scientific
science
community
is
doesn't
religion?
do what you're doing.
Are you saying science is
No.
religion?
Did
No,
you say
you're
that?
saying science is religion. You're saying it.
No, I'm saying that we should separate
And
them.
I'm disagreeing.
So
Yes, we do. You don't. We do.
agree. We
You
separate
don't.
science and religion, yeah?
No. Please stop using the we to talk about anything you and I have in common, because you and I have nothing in common.
Oh, we have everything
you
in
and I
common.
Are not a we.
You and I are
You and I are
very,
not a
very
we.
similar when it comes to understanding the world around us. Now, you would want a demonstration.
Nope.
You would want
No,
an
not at
experiment.
all.
And you wouldn't
Yes,
want
and I
a
have
religious claim to be
And I have
accepted as
them.
truth. Right?
I've seen plenty sufficient experiments that
No,
I've accepted.
you
and I
actually
accept as
haven't,
real.
Scott. You've been indoctrinated.
No,
Do
I
you
have.
understand this?
I have. No, that's you talking again.
Yeah, you've
I
been
haven't.
programmed, Scott, since you were 5 years old. You've been told you're on a spinning ball, you know?
Nope.
And then they fooled you that they went to the moon, yeah? And then they gave you some equations that
The
said
moon
the Earth
doesn't
is
matter.
39.59. Remember, Scott?
You
Moon's
can keep
irrelevant.
making these assertions.
Scott,
They're
you remember
not
the
true
globe?
just because
You know the
made
globe
them.
that was probably in
Emo,
your classroom? Do you remember that?
You need to stop making assertions about other people. You should stop doing that. It's not very Christian-like.
Scott,
to be accusing other people.
do you understand
of
what
things.
propaganda
Emo,
is?
you're
You
Christian.
could also
Come
stop
on, man.
interrupting people, Chemo.
He's not even letting me finish. Every time I speak,
Emo?
he interrupts me and says
That's
the same
that
thing
is
again
what
and
you're
again.
doing.
That's because you keep lying about me. You're telling me
No.
what has happened to me.
Go on, sorry.
I know what's happened to me. You don't.
I do know what's happened to you, yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You can't possibly know what's happened to me, Chemo. You
Yeah.
don't even know who I am. You
No, I do,
can't
yeah.
possibly know what's happened to me.
No, not your
No, that's just
personal
your
life, of
delusion
course. I don't know
talking.
your personal life, but in
That's your
terms of
delusion
the
speaking.
globe
See how you
indoctrination,
interrupted him again, Chemo?
in terms of your
Yeah, I
globe
can't interrupt
indoctrination,
again, to be fair.
Yeah.
Chemo, do you mean you possibly know one of the things that's happened to him?
Yeah. So not his personal life. I don't know like what time he gets up or what he has for tea. I just know about his globe life. Everything to do with his globe indoctrination. I know all about him. Yeah. Everything.
It's all part of your delusion, Chemo. It's all part of your delusion to think that you know more than you do.
I understand that he would think like this.
In this world. You need to be fighting this mythic battle of good and evil on a cosmic scale. And the ground, apparently, around Earth doesn't work in that battle for you. You need a flat Earth for all this stuff to be true.
Again, it's called propaganda. You were programmed to believe.
It's called a paranoid delusion that you are suffering.
I heard
from,
you. You want to repeat it again?
Help. You need help. You need help.
Possibly.
May I suggest going to the
possibly. If the flat earthers are shown to be wrong, then yeah, we're going to absolutely probably get.
Why are you talking for other people again? Just talk for yourself, Chemo.
Well, no, I'm sure that because I've spoke to the community, and a lot of us, some of us would be okay, some of us would be fine, but a lot of us might find it hard to take that. You know, we put a lot of effort, energy into this.
It'd be traumatic, Chemo. It would destroy your world.
Yeah, absolutely. That's if you could show that it was not a globe. Yeah.
And that's
sure to who?
Why you can't, and that's why you can't allow any evidence in, because it would destroy your world, and you will do everything you can to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, you can't show or demonstrate your claim. That's the point. If you could show that, then yeah, you would destroy the flat Earth world.
Not the flat Earth world, just yours.
Anybody anything that they refuse to look at. If you're going to close your eyes and plug your ears and say, nah, anytime someone tries to show you something, of course you're never going to be shown anything. That goes without saying.
Now, again, do you understand what propaganda is? Like I said, when you were a very young child, you were told something that you believed that you didn't verify or validate for yourself, right? So today, here and now...
That's part of your delusion. I understand that's part of your delusion, that you need to believe that about me. It's just wrong, though, because it's a delusion.
Yo, Scott, I've got a question for you, right? I've got a question for you, Scott. You're a nice guy. You seem very reasonable. Your head's screwed on. And like you trust, but you are a nice guy. You've never ever upset me or said anything wrong to me. You seem very reasonable and very straightforward. Your head switched on. So why do you have so much faith in humanity? Why don't you think they could ever lie to you?
Well, if someone can lie to you, it hasn't got anything to do with what you can personally prove.
Sorry, your name is Scott.
Yeah, well, you're not in a private room with Scott.
Oh, no, let Quinn... let Quinn... Quinn's been involved...
What you can prove, what can you prove has nothing to do with... Are you going to say my name's not Scott, too?
Mr. Scott, you can get involved also, but I'm just saying to Robbie that Quinn has been involved in this discussion for a long while now. So
I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. I just want to get that joke in.
Yeah, nice one.
Shit joke, by the way. It's a shit joke, by the way. And your name
it was, but you don't have to be salty about it. You can be generous.
You're fake, Scott.
You can be generous about it.
Listen, your parents never went nowhere, okay? You're a liar, you're a shill.
Oh, Brummy, come on, not so hard.
Brummy, don't be so ridiculous.
Brummy, you're gonna come in here and start talking shit again.
Yeah, come on,
Brummy.
Scott, nobody went nowhere. Just tell the truth now. Just admit you're the source of information.
I'll tell you the truth. My mom did not go to space. You're right.
Right. I took her to another dimension. That's
my dad did. What? What?
I took her to another dimension.
Another dimension?
Rummy, dude, I'm scared that Rummy's about to populate.
She said she wants you to call her. Why don't you call her back?
You know what? I went round there. She was like, "He ain't even on Earth right now. My husband's not in.
No,
he's
she
not
doesn't
on
love
Earth."
you. She won't stop talking about you. Brummy this, Brummy that. Brummy's so smart. Brummy's so great. I'm like, fuck, mom, enough.
He's not even on Earth right now. I was like, "Oh yeah, baby."
Brummy's stupid. Brummy dumb.
All right, listen. Me and you want a 1v1. Do you want a 1v1, you little bitch?
About what? You dumb.
About you, right? Let's see how far your knowledge really goes. Let's test your actual knowledge. Let's ask you.